There we go. All right. Did that on the last episode too, but I thought since we changed over on that one, I wouldn't have to do it here. All right. Sorry about that. False start. We are, yes.
5-year penalty on Tad?
Yes, we are now welcoming you. I will go ahead and edit that when I go down to the YouTube side. It looks like we're just under the 3-minute mark. But welcome to Geekery Abides. We are here for episode 34 of Geekery Abides, and we are about to get started now that you guys can actually hear us. Let's go ahead and hit the intro and then get started.
He who is ashamed of his geekery has forgotten the face of Stan Lee.
This is the podcast, Geekery Abides.
Hello and welcome to Geekery Abides. We are here for episode 34. My name is Tad, and with me as always is Peter. We are here to geek out, as we do every other week. We are also now back on schedule. We had a couple elements of shenanigans that had us move the last 2 episodes, which the way that these all work out, that means it's been about a month since we've been on schedule. But as Lord Vader says, we are now back on schedule. That's not really what he says, but I'm going to adapt the line to say that. So we are now back on schedule, which means the next episode is a fortnight from today. And we are here on an episode where we actually should be recording, unlike the last 2 episodes where we were on oddball weeks. So, yeah, let's go ahead and dive on in. First of all, welcome. Happy May 18th. I guess that's the other thing that is wrong on the screen as well is the subheading is showing... Oh, never mind. I'm on a different screen now, or where I can edit. Either way, we know it's not May 11th. It is May 18th, so let's go ahead and jump on over to the emails. If you want to contact the show, there's the 2 ways to do that is to email either of us directly. It's either peter@geekeryabides.com or tad@geekeryabides.com. Tad is T-A-D-D. And, yeah, what is it we thought of last time at the very end of the episode where we thought that we didn't say anything during the announcement? Oh, is probably that you're back?
That I was back.
Okay, I was like, because I feel like the announcements for this show are
we did that way late.
are a little bit more nebulous than like the Dark Tower Palaver ones are way more solid. I think it's probably because we don't have like websites and all that, like all the other crazy stuff involved with the show like we do with the other ones. So, yes, either way, that's how you can email us. Let's go ahead and jump on over to what are you watching? What have you been watching, reading, playing? Let's see here. I'm gonna
start us off, sir.
Oh, me. Sorry, I'm looking at the next slide. It was wrong. All right. See, can't get through. For me, mine's super easy. I honestly haven't.
It's only been a week, so
it has only been a week, and I just haven't done a lot. Watching, I've jumped back in. I am hammering through the X-Men, the animated series.
Excellent.
As well as last Sunday, I started the Obi-Wan show on a rewatch.
Right.
So I got most of the way through before I had to go to dinner, take my mom to dinner for Mother's Day. So I think I've got like 15 minutes left of the first episode to watch. Okay. Watching that, looking forward to kind of still hammering through my chronological watch of live action, and then once I finish all the way through that, I'm going to circle back and watch all the animated stuff. So reading wise, I also read Swan Song pretty heavy this week. I think I'm down under 10 hours left of that book. Really enjoying it. Definitely me taking a while reading it is not a reflection of the book. It's more of just that I've been so damn busy with podcasts and other stuff, and even music. I've been listening to a lot of music recently for some reason.
Gotcha.
So, and then playing just still MLB The Show, so nothing super groundbreaking.
Finish all the Spider-Mans, right?
Yeah, finish all the Spider-Mans. Last episode, I think I talked about Spider-Man 2 getting completed out, so
nice.
Those are done. I actually did, no, I guess I'm lying to you. I did actually turn on The Last of Us and popped in and played a
okay.
little bit of that. So actually played I guess I don't know how spoilers work. Early on, a character that's very close to Joel
Yes.
dying. So
Yes.
very early on in the game, but so it's not a massive spoiler. If you've seen the show, you all know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
I played through that section, so I guess I have also played The Last of Us. What about you?
Again, only a week. I watched Godzilla 2, King of the Monsters last weekend. Going through the Monsters movies, you know, and everything. My wife and I started up Parks and Rec. We finished Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We needed something to watch. Parks and Rec is right there on Peacock, so off we go. I did finish The Outsider, like I said I would. I actually finished it Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. And then just waiting for You Like It Darker. I'm not going to start anything else. I'm going to wait for that.
Yeah.
So music, and I did start the most recent Hardcore History, and I think I'm too lost to...
You haven't re-listened to the old ones?
No, I never do. I usually can keep where I'm at kind of well, but this one is... A lot has happened since the last one came out in my life, so...
Yeah.
I think this might be one where I need to go re-listen to both of them.
Put it aside.
Which
then.
is great,
Yeah.
because that's like, what, 14 hours or some shit like that from him?
Yeah.
Dan Carlin's a beast. I don't know how
See,
he does it.
my question is now, am I going to be able to read that last 9 hours of Swan Song before Tuesday?
That's up to you, sir.
When you
Do you
like it
have
darker.
do you have the will that's on your shirt or not?
Oh, everyone loves Superman. All right.
That's almost true. And then I've only been playing Fallout 4. I'm doing a new playthrough now that I know things. There's a new update for updated graphics and stuff like that. And I'm to the point where I'm kind of rushing it a little bit because I think I'm starting to get burned out a little bit. But I did get one of my Father's Day gifts early. My wife bought me Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC. It was on sale, so
Nice.
she's like, I'm going to scoop that up now for you. That's on your wish list, so happy Father's Day.
That'll be fun. You'll enjoy it, dude. That game is great. I actually was thinking about circling back to that too. I saw it on one of my hard drives on one of my consoles, and I was like, dare I? It's like Red Dead. It's so big,
Every now
so
and then you
fast,
just circle back.
but it's also just so big. It's like once you
Yeah.
dive in, like you're probably going to be sucked in for a while.
Yeah. Mike says in the chat, watching Evil and BMS on Netflix, reading started Heinlein read, playing Fallout 4. Hey, Fallout 4, shout out. And watching the PGA Championship.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I guess if we count like sports stuff, I've been watching a lot.
Oh,
of
I've been
baseball.
watching a fuck ton of hockey.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of baseball.
We just got the announcement that we're getting an NHL team here in Utah. Arizona Coyotes are moving to Utah and becoming a new franchise. The Coyotes are staying in Arizona, potential to restart up. So it kind of got me excited for hockey again. I used to be a San Jose Sharks fan, so watching hockey, I'll tell you right now, these playoffs are fucking insane.
Yeah.
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 'Cause that's the thing. You're watching regular season baseball. I'm watching playoff hockey.
Yeah.
So who's the more sane one?
Me. Baseball's the American pastime, sir.
Pastime.
It's not this Canadian bullshit. All right, let's go ahead and jump on into the news. There's a lot of news, surprisingly, since, well, it's only been a week, but we also, I think I've told it in the last 3 episodes, though, I was going to divide the news up so that it was still covering
The 2 weeks.
the 2-week period that the episode should have been covering.
Yeah.
So this is still 2 weeks worth of news. The first one, though, the reason I'm wearing my shirt, the Superman suit has been revealed
Yep.
for the new Superman movie.
You geeked the fuck out on social media on this one.
Oh yeah, I mean, I geeked out in real life too. I
My hand slipped off the arm there. I almost fell.
woo.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm a pretty simple guy. Just give me the red trunks on a Superman costume, and I'm happy. I am a hardcore trunks guy. I think the suit is garbage looking without it. I know a lot of people don't like it for whatever reason. But to me, it's the balance thing. I'll even say the same thing I apply to Wolverine. Like the Deadpool and Wolverine suit looks kind of shitty because they cut the blue out, and it's like it drags. There's just too much of one color. You've got to break things out. Like most of these comic book characters were created and they were designed by people that have an eye for design. And it's like you break it up because, like, I don't know. That way you don't just have a giant fucking blue blob. You break it up with, yellow belt, red
if you
trunks.
if you just have great big blue and red cape, you look like Homelander, and we all know what kind of superhero he is.
But even his is broken up quite a bit.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I thought it
'cause-
was solid.
No, I thought his stuff was broken up.
Nope, solid blue with a gold belt.
Okay, so he has the gold belt, and then he has the cape is super colorful
The
too.
cape
so.
is red and white.
Yeah, it's the flag.
Yeah.
It's flag based.
I thought it was pure red.
And then Mike asked who's the actor. This is David Cornsweet, the new actor for the new movie, James Gunn's movie. I'm super excited about it. So I mean, yes, there is some nitpicks. I brought this up on one of our Batman versus Superman episodes where I'm like, what do Batman fans obsess about when these things are in development? Because for me, I know Superman ones, it comes down to like the costume is always one that gets beat up quite a bit by different people. I will say it's not the perfect costume. Like I don't necessarily like some of the pattern. If you look close, it's got kind of like it's not smooth. I don't know. I kind of prefer it, but that's a minor nitpick. It's not anything that's going to ruin it for me.
The funny thing for me is I was like, he's wearing trunks?
Oh, that was dude, and that's what I was telling someone. Is I was like, it felt awkward because it's like I knew it was a Superman picture. So once I opened it, the first place my eyes went is
right to his junk.
Yeah, it's like, are the trunks there? And I'm like, if this out of context, this probably seems strange. My eyes immediately go
Tad's over
to
there
the
at-
groin area.
Tad's over there at work. Enhance. Someone
And-
walks by his desk and is like, dude, what the fuck?
Well, then also I saw a thumbnail at first, and the way it was positioned when he's sitting and stuff, my first concern is they were gonna like darken it up to where you actually couldn't see if it was there or not. I was like, dude, if those motherfuckers like black it out, like not black it out like it's like censored, but make it dark and it's so dark that you can't tell if they're there or not, that would have pissed me off. And when I saw the thumbnail, I'm like, those fuckers, because I feel like they did that with the last one with the Man of Steel. I think they did their reveal picture for that. It somehow, I don't remember how they did it, but it obscured that to where we didn't know with the initial announcement if it had the trunks.
Does it have trunks or not?
So yeah, that's always one of the big ones. I mean, I guess with Batman, you don't like he's always going to have his ears and stuff. So it's like
but how pointy, how long, how tall? Is it a fat bat
is the logo
or a little?
fat?
Is it normal looking? Mike asked carbon scoring on the outfit.
Yeah, it's definitely battle worn for sure. I've seen a lot of people complaining like, oh, it should be a brighter, more hopeful thing. There's obviously a lot of crazy shit going on in the background.
Yeah.
To me, I don't care. This is just a first look. There's a lot more to come. This is ultimately just for us to see him in the suit. Here's our actor. Here he is. And what the suit, again, the trunks is probably the biggest debate thing. I mean, some people debate like how high are the boots. We don't know yet. Is there a logo on the cape? That's another thing that always gets debated with Superman fans, because there's some different variations you see with Superman suits. His collar, sometimes there's like a really sharp
This one looks
collar.
this one looks like he almost has like a little bit of a turtleneck, which
Yeah.
for me I was like,
yeah, and there's some where it's like a really distinct, like almost like you see, like almost like a leather jacket-ish.
Yeah.
So there's like, it's funny. It sounds dumb, but in the Superman realm, some of these minor things, it's always like neckline. Are the trunks there? Is there a logo on the cape? How long is the cape? How bright are the colors, or how dim are the colors? Overall, I'm happy. I do think that when we actually see him like in daylight and stuff, I do think the colors are going to be a bit brighter than they look here.
Yeah.
But I'm fucking excited.
It's a dark photo. It really is. So it's like people may be complaining about the wrong color blue, but let's see it in the sunlight.
It's dark. He's in a room. He's not in sunlight. He's kind of crouched over, pulling his boot up. And so yeah, they're doing it on purpose. They're I think it's a slow rollout. Ultimately, we're going to see a lot more come. Whatever.
Yeah. Did DC get bought by Disney?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, is the snake in my boot? Is that what's going on here?
You deserve that.
I don't know about that.
All right.
Oh, I have to tell you this because I just made a dad joke. On the hockey intermission guys, there's 4 of them. If any one of them makes a bad joke like that, they have to get up and do a lap around the set. And I thought you would appreciate that.
Okay. Well, I'll take my finger off the boot.
Yeah, they're like, nope, that's a bad joke. Go take a lap.
That's good. Then Mike also says interesting building in the background too. Indeed, there's some interesting stuff going on overall, as well as the crazy beam thing. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot going on for sure. But for me, the costume was the big first question always. From there, of course, I'm going to start wondering about things like what is the tone of the movie, which everything that James Gunn's saying makes me think that we're going to be in the right place.
Yeah.
So
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can Superman have a beard?
Yeah, he's had a beard in the comics for sure. It always gets debatable with Superman fans where it's like, how does he shave?
Yeah.
Because his hair would be indestructible. So how is he shaving? Like,
Is it indestructible?
Oh,
Is it?
yeah. Like you don't ever see him like get thrown into the sun and it comes out and his hair's gone. So yeah,
Or maybe it just regrows real fast.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever gotten into those debates enough to know like what the best answer is for that. But it's always been a thing where it's like,
I've always
how does he shave?
I've always just liked the cartoon I saw where he uses his laser vision
and yeah, cuts it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he has and like of course it was probably the 90s when everyone was trying to be fucking gritty and dark and inventing dumb characters like Venom. But yeah, they had like a bearded Superman. He had a black suit.
It's so funny how you hate Venom so much.
I do. It's I just do. Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man. He's
wearing my Spider-Man shirt
awesome.
today.
And I'm even okay with the Secret Wars Spider-Man suit where he's the black suit with the white stuff. That's
Mike says Norelco advertising opportunity can even cut Superman's hair.
yeah. I would be shocked if that's not been done at least once in the 80-something years that Superman's been around.
That there's a razor.
That someone has advertised with Superman in that way. All right, so jumping over next, this one is a fun one. The headline, Nolan absolutely wants to make more Batman movies.
Good. Wait, Nolan?
Took you a second to register
I was looking
that
up
there.
to see if anyone has ever done a Superman ad, and I heard Batman, and I'm like, oh, cool, then wait. Nolan?
But I am teasing you because that's not the right Nolan.
It's a different Nolan?
Jonathan Nolan, the brother that wrote the movies for Christopher.
Oh.
No. I did have to go clickbaity a little bit to tease you and get you like your reaction of like what it would be like if Christopher Nolan came back. But Jonathan Nolan, which he wrote the movies for his brother Chris, said, quote, "Wouldn't that be a dream? That period was 10 years of my life from when I got the call to work on Batman Begins, and it was epic." He says, "Working with Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, and to honor an American icon. If I had the chance to go back and work on that again, absolutely." He says, "We moved on to other things, and of course, other people have picked up the mantle and moved on with those characters." So I think he's just saying it would be an honor to go back and do it, but I don't think it's actually in the cards.
Oh,
but
okay.
Still, it's a fun little thing to talk about. Next up, Mark Strong, the wonderful and talented and brilliant Mark Strong. You know Mark, right? The bald guy from Kingsman. Great actor.
Take me home,
dude, he's one of
country
my
roads.
he's one of my favorite fucking actors in everything he does. He has been confirmed in the Penguin show.
Ooh, good. I saw a trailer for that.
So yeah,
the hockey I've been watching has been on Max. They
okay.
have sports on there now, and they do trailers for their own stuff.
Yeah,
and yeah, Penguin shows up every like 4th or 5th commercial break, and dude, it looks really fucking good.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. So funny enough, who ended up confirming this was his trainer. His trainer was being interviewed and said, "Oh yeah, I'm training Mark for the Penguin show." Then of course he was asked, because he was obviously leaking shit he probably should have been saying. He was asked, "Who's he playing?" He says, "I don't know that." So then I would question you as a Batman fan. Who does Mr. Strong potentially?
We
fit
had
into?
the call for. Okay, so we had. I'm trying to remember. There's Maroney and there's the other gangster, which Falcone. One of them, I always get it backwards. One of them was arrested before The Batman Begins, and is in prison. So
Mike says Egghead. I love that. That's great.
That's
Vincent
not bad.
Price, right? Was Egghead in the Adam West show?
I think so, yeah. But I think if he plays, because the big thing is now is that.
Did you pull him up? Like in terms of just looking at him? I know.
No, I know. Yeah, I know who he is.
I know your picture.
As soon as you said the bald guy, like the assistant guy, and yeah, I know him.
Okay.
What I'm thinking is he's the mobster that got arrested that set up the events in The Batman.
Okay.
Because that's where. Oh God, what is the character's name? I'm trying to remember his name.
Here's the one that came to my mind immediately, and I'm not a Batman fan.
Yeah.
Hugo Strange.
That's not a bad one. He'd make a damn good
I kind of
Hugo
wondered.
Strange.
Imagine if he showed up in that smaller context in the Penguin, Because honest to
Okay.
God, my first thought was if they waste Mark Strong and he's only in this Penguin show and he doesn't end up in the Batman 2 or the Batman 3 or somewhere else in this universe, it's a fucking waste. So there's part of me that wonders if he's going to end up being a larger character that we're only going to get tastes of in this show to start. But
Yeah, we got Falcone is the one I'm thinking of. He was played by, oh God, what is his name? John
Turturro.
Turturro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Falcone takes over for the mobster who went to prison
Yeah.
and took over his organization and everything like that. I think he would make a really good that one.
Yeah.
You know want to know what? I'm going to change my answer. You want to know what he would make the absolute best of? Dude, he would make an amazing fucking Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, that too.
He would make an amazing Mr. Freeze, especially if you do the more common now sympathetic Freeze, where all he's trying to do is save his wife.
Oh yeah.
If you put him into this series and make him
As an intro.
make him Dr. Freeze, not
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze. Make him the Dr. Freeze with the
Before
funky
it all,
spelling
right?
before it all.
Kinda
He's
like-
happily married with Nora, but he has to do something for Penguin for a mission or
Yeah.
a heist or something like that.
Yeah. Kind of like Billy D in the first Batman movie playing
Harvey Dent.
Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
You
We're
sow those seeds in
yeah.
to plant the bad guy for the next film.
Yeah.
Imagine if we had that. Imagine if they didn't waste any time and they're just like, yeah, there's Freeze.
Yeah.
Oh, is he going to be in the second movie or the third movie?
Yeah, you don't know, but
You don't know.
He exists,
but
now.
he's here.
Yeah, he now exists in that world.
Does he have to be in it? No.
No, but
It
he
would
can.
be bitch ass if he was.
Thanos showed up in 2012 in Avengers, but didn't fucking show up proper for another 10 years almost. It seemed like.
Yeah.
Sure felt like it. So not 10 years, but, it
But
was
yeah,
a long time.
I think Freeze is the best choice.
I would agree. That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we've got Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. We've already talked about this one a bit. This is the one where Kara's going to be a bit older, going to remember some of Krypton, so she might have a little bit more of a dark and moody a little bit because unlike infant Kal-El that was sent away, she would have remembered like who she lost. She would have
Yeah.
friends, family, loved ones that she knew.
Yeah.
And then she ends up on Earth. That has now got its release date. It's coming out in summer of 26, which is June 26, 2026. It seems like
6/26/26.
Yep, 6/26/26 indeed.
Shit.
They're
That's a lot of sixes.
they're starting to fill in a lot of gaps of like untitled movies in the 2025 calendar, but also some 2026 calendars. It seems like a few companies, I'm guessing it was like quarterly reviews or something, because it feels like a lot of that's why we have a lot of news. Feel like there's been a lot of announcements recently, and one of them is Supergirl has her date. So
Do we already have the title? Woman of Tomorrow?
yeah, Supergirl
already
Woman of
had
Tomorrow.
that?
That was announced from the beginning. Yeah. All right. Next up, we've got Keanu Reeves saying that he and Sandra Bullock would knock Speed 3 out of the park,
Of course they would.
and he's saying that I think he spoke for her a bit too, saying that both of them have talked about it and they both would love to be involved. So
Let's do it.
there's part of me that's like, get that fucking going, man.
I know what it needs to be on, too.
What?
Because the first one was a bus, the second one was a cruise ship. Train.
Yeah, trains a natural. I was thinking about that at one point where I was like, isn't it funny how often trains are in movies? It's just because they're crazy speed, they're unstoppable.
Yeah.
It's just there's something about them that's just
Yeah.
it's cool.
Let's do a train. We could also do a plane. We could also do a tandem bike.
A Tesla, maybe?
A Tesla would be interesting. Where they what if it's one of those ones where it's the not a Tesla, but it's the
The robocars.
robocars? Yeah. Saw a video of that last time. My wife sent me a video of that. Wouldn't that be interesting? They get in and they just happen to run into each other.
Yeah.
Because remember, Keanu wasn't in the second movie.
Yeah, indeed.
So he shows up and they get into a car and they're like, oh my God. And they're like, hi. And then they're like, they get taken and they have to go in this robo-car.
And also, whoever Keanu Reeves' agent is or was in that time period for not getting him in 2 deserves like a fucking
you.
yeah. He deserves an Italian sports car.
Yeah.
because that movie was a fucking nightmare. All right, so next up we've got Lord of the Rings is announced 2 movies coming out in 2026.
Really?
Yes, one of them, I think both of them, Peter Jackson has been announced as producing. But the first one got a further announcement a few days later. The first one is titled The Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum, and it will be directed and starred Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis, yep.
So, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just maybe taking place in that 1 to 2 period, like where he's out. Well, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be, but ultimately,
What if it's the prequel to 1 because you see Gollum getting tortured in 1 in Fellowship,
yeah, I guess that's true.
and he gives the 2 words,
yeah,
Baggins, Shire. What if it's the hunt for Gollum and you're literally from the bad guy's perspective hunting down this little fuck?
yeah, could be.
What if it's that?
Mike says The Fugitive meets Lord of the Rings.
Precious.
I don't care. Makes him jump off of waterfall.
He falls holding the ring.
So
Oh
yeah.
no, wait, Bilbo has it. Never mind.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I don't know. Well, guess we'll see what that brings as it comes, because it does sound like they announced 2 movies for 26. So
You would have to do like stories that don't have any of the existing characters, right? Like,
I don't know.
Where are you going to do a story in the middle of the Lord of the Rings? And I mean, we're losing actors, unfortunately, which is a sad thing. We also have people who are getting far too old to play the parts that they were before.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. None of the hobbits except Elijah Mitchell, who's a fucking vampire.
Elijah Wood.
Could play the hobbits that they were.
I would say, well, unless you went in the future after the events.
That's true.
What
You can't have the hunt for Gollum after the events.
these don't have to be connected, though. Like, if there's another movie, it could, is what I'm saying. The one I would pitch is a Wormtongue standalone movie. But unfortunately, Brad Dourif has announced that he's retired from acting unless it's voicing Chucky. He says that is the only thing that he'll continue to work for. So,
we lost Christopher Lee, too, didn't we?
yeah, he's been gone for a while now. Yeah.
So we can't have a Saruman movie.
Nope.
Unless we recast.
Tom Bombadil.
Give a young
Tom
do a
Bombadil.
young Saruman movie.
Could. Yeah. Do a wizard movie with all the wizards and
Do a young Gandalf. So you recast someone instead of Ian. Oh,
that hurts.
I feel dirty just saying that.
Indeed. Next up, it doesn't seem like we could have an episode anymore without mentioning Deadpool and Logan, or Wolverine at least once. But Deadpool and Wolverine has a new synopsis.
All right.
Previously, Feige has also been asked about the stakes of this movie, and he has said that the stakes for this movie are universe-sized.
Okay. Remember my fan
So-
theory last week?
Yeah, and then here's the synopsis we've got now. It says, not only will Deadpool and Wolverine be working to defeat a range of villains plaguing the Marvel Universe, bub, but they'll be gate-crashing the MCU franchise, too, and putting their own R-rated 20th century-style twist on some of our favorite moments from phases 1 through 4.
I'm texting my wife. I have to tell her. I don't want to forget that I have to tell her about this because that is fucking unreal.
Yeah, so...
Holy dude, are you serious?
Again, 20th Century Fox twist on some of our favorite moments from phases 1 through 4.
Just hook it to my veins!
Excellent.
Dude. Oh, they're going to make so many Hulk penis jokes.
Which there's speculation that could mean they're just reusing footage from old movies.
Yeah.
But it also could mean they filmed fresh things, which means that God knows what cast members.
We could see anyone.
Chris Evans, Robert
Tom
Downey Jr.
Holland.
I mean, anyone.
Anyone.
And because I think there were some people speculating that in one of the trailers you see the Age of Ultron location from the fight from the very beginning of Age of Ultron.
Oh,
that
the snow.
snowy area.
Oh, the woods. He's fighting TVA agents. Deadpool is.
Yeah, so there's people piecing that together. So
That's Sokovia?
I
I think it is.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Because that's where the twins were.
Yeah. So we can ultimately see Deadpool crossing over with a lot of MCU legends in his travels. So this movie,
That makes sense because that's why the TVA is showing him clips
yeah,
of what we think of as the Marvel movies. One of those clips is that scene where they all line up in Ultron right at the beginning.
yeah,
You know, one's jumping, one's
yeah.
flying off.
It's the comic book shot.
The comic book shot.
Yeah,
They show that one.
yeah.
I need to go rewatch the trailer now and look at that shot specifically because I
dude.
wonder if that means that they're going to insert into those exact points, or is Feige pulling the wool over eyes and it's none of those?
Yeah, there's some fake outs in those trailers.
I'm telling you, man,
guarantee it.
I think that the portal is going to take us to Endgame.
Could be.
What if they're trying to go and stop Tony from snapping and Deadpool makes sure
be.
that he snaps?
Yeah, it could be. Mike says Quicksilver lives.
Save him.
Didn't see that coming.
Save him. Just throw your body in front of a Deadpool. You
Yeah,
can take a couple bullets.
You could take it. You're taking a lot worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So it's that's pretty exciting.
That's amazing.
That's pretty exciting. Next up, the rumor is that Captain America 4, The Brave New World, will be introducing adamantium to the MCU.
Ooh.
That is a piece that has not come together into
No.
this. So
We got what's the Wakanda metal?
vibranium.
We
Yep.
got vibranium, but we don't have adamantium yet.
Yep. Indeed.
Which one's stronger?
That's a good question. That's a weighty question too. That's not an easy one to answer there. Next up, Ben Affleck has met with Kevin Feige.
Batman.
And he said, "What?
He's Batman.
Well, way before he was Batman, he was someone else.
Daredevil.
But they did say, I think it's been confirmed. Well, it's all rumors, but the rumor is it is not about Daredevil.
No.
So there is a role that he is discussing with Kevin Feige that is not Daredevil. So very interesting.
Doctor Doom.
We'll have to keep an eye on.
Would you take
this.
Ben Affleck as Doctor Doom?
I don't think he would.
You don't?
No, I think this is probably going to be a smaller thing, that like a movie or so, not like 15 movies. Because I think Doctor Doom's going to be like big time.
You
when he
think so?
shows
With
up.
them
Oh, yeah.
already bringing Galactus in?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
I do. I that's my belief. We'll see though. Next up, we actually have
The
new.
accountant in MCU. I would love this.
Oh, that's great. Next up, this is actually in news, not rumors. We have a few rumors around before this, and then we have another rumor after this, but this is actually news. Marvel Studios is officially saying they are reducing their output. Bob Iger on his quarterly call said that the MCU will be limited to 2 to 3 movies a year, or 2 seasons of TV per year. In my mind, this is a big yawn. So Iger's basically saying we're going back to normal, because 2 to 3 is what we've been seeing. I'd say the only thing changing would be TV, because TV got a little bit heavier than 2 per year,
Which is fine for us to
draw
it
that
just
back a little bit. For sure. But the movie wise, people are making a big deal out of this. But to me, I'm like,
Have we had more than 3 movies in a year?
I think even if we did, it would have been COVID related, like where it's like a movie that
Stuff was
should have
pushed
been
back a year.
Exactly. So, but Bob said we're slowly going to decrease volume and go to probably about 2 TV series a year instead of what has become 4, and reduce our film output from maybe 4 a year or to 2 or maximum of 3. And we're working hard on what that path is. Iger went on to say that Marvel has had, quote, a couple of good films in 25, and then we're heading to more Avengers, which we're really extremely excited about. And then the last quote, overall, I feel great about the slate. It's something I've been committed to spending more of my time on. The team is one that I have tremendous confidence in, and the IP that we're mining, including all sequels that we're doing, is second to none. So, again, mostly a big nothing burger. I think of nothing. The only thing we could take from this that's really of note is that the TV shows will probably be scaled back a bit.
There was 3 movies in 2017, 3 movies in 2018, 3 movies in 2019.
Yeah, that's standard.
4 movies in 2021.
Which COVID.
3 movies in 2022. 3 movies in 2023. 1 in 2024. And
yeah, so ultimately
2
it's
in 2025.
So yeah, ultimately it's a big nothing
3?
burger. There was the 1 year, and that was that was post COVID. So that one of those movies should have come out in 20. It was Black Widow was supposed to come out in 2020. So yeah, a big nothing burger, except for the TV side. That is potentially news.
Now, if he had said they dial back to 1 or 2 movies,
that'd be a bigger deal for sure.
because yeah, we've been at 3 for 7 years now.
A good chunk of the third phase 3 was 3 a year, because I remember commenting on that, because back in the first phase it was like 1 movie, maybe got to 2 movies, and then it held consistent through phase 2. Then it was phase 3 was suddenly like, holy shit, we're getting 3 movies a year, and it just felt like we were building like momentum towards what we ended up building towards. So the next one here is completely out of fucking left field. This is a rumor, but apparently Marvel wants The Rock for Apocalypse.
Okay.
I mean, I guess he's physically imposing and stuff, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, I'm so on him. Some of the shit with DC and his dumbass movie that no one cared about.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt, but I just
No, that's all I had to really say is it just some of the shit, like they were supposed to have like his character versus Shazam, and he like kind of went like big time on him and said, fuck that, I'm not doing that. You got to bring Superman into my movie. And like,
right.
it was just, I don't know.
But here's the thing. Okay, so this is confirmed. He's one of the few actors in Hollywood that has a no-lose clause.
Oh,
How the
yeah.
fuck are you going to play Apocalypse?
He'd waive it for this. He has to.
I mean,
Yeah, he has to.
he better.
Yeah.
Like, Apocalypse doesn't win.
Yeah. I mean, you could also say Apocalypse doesn't lose as well. He may get, defeated in the moment, but there's never a time that you win the war against him. It's always it's always more of a you punt him down the road and he shows up 5 years later in the next comic series they need him. Next up, we got a couple where I'm combining stuff together because I don't want to shortchange us on our main topic. The Fantastic Four's cast is growing. It has added 3 new actors. I'm sorry, I wish it was 4 because that would have made sense for Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
John Malkovich has been announced
I heard about this one.
in Fantastic Four. No role mentioned. But then Ralph Ineson, which I don't know how to say his last name very well, has been cast as Galactus.
Yeah.
For the movie. You would know him. We just saw him recently in the First Omen. He is very famous because his voice, if nothing else. I mean, he's a great actor otherwise, but his voice. He was also the dad in The Witch.
Which I still haven't watched.
I'm trying to think of some of the other stuff. He's a great actor, though. So him and his voice as Galactus, sign me the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then Natasha Lyonne, which she is most famous for. Most recently, she did... Fuck, I just blanked on the name of the show. What's the Ryan Johnson show on Peacock? She's the
Poker Face.
Poker Face. She was most famous in Poker Face. You and I know her from Detroit Rock City back in the day.
Jesus Christ, she's in American Pie?
Yeah, she was the one that was kind of that knew. She was like the experienced chick that kind of was telling the one girl like how dumb she was being about sex and stuff.
Oh.
But yeah, she was in Detroit City back in the day too. But she was also cast in Fantastic Four. No telling her role.
Oh, she was big in Orange Is the New Black.
Yeah,
That's a very popular Netflix show.
but yeah, Ralph is the only one that we have a role for. We also had the dude guy from Karate Kid that was announced with no role as well. A lot of people being filled in with no roles, but they did announce Ralph's role as Galactus. So
we have a Silver Surfer already, right?
yes, we do. All right, next up.
Just hook it to my veins!
That's the wrong pedal. I mean, hook Fantastic Four to my veins too.
Oh yeah.
Next up, we got Spider-Man corner.
Spider-Man.
We've got 2 rumors and a news bit. First rumor: Sony is in early development of a live-action Spider-Gwen film.
Oh, cool.
That would be pretty cool.
My daughter would freaking love that.
Yeah,
she digs Spider-Gwen. She
Yeah.
wants to get her hair cut like her, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
shaved side and everything.
That's awesome.
She thought her hair was so freaking cool.
That's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
if you would have told like me back in high school that at some point in the future kids would actually know who the fuck Spider-Gwen was, I would have told you you're lying. That would have been as like hard to convince me as if they knew that who the Guardians of the Galaxy were. Like mass people did.
I am Groot.
Next rumor: James Wan is apparently in running to direct Spider-Man 4.
Cool.
That'd be cool. I mean, it sounds like we're hearing a lot of names attached to Spider-Man 4 potentially. So it does sound like, though, I don't think we've yet heard one that was like, oh, that's kind of a so-and-so. Like, these are all like heavy-hitting directors.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And then the news one, Nicolas Cage has officially been cast as live-action Spider-Man Noir.
Nice.
They are doing a live-action
Awesome.
Spider-Man Noir. So that, and again, that is not a rumor. That is legit happening. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited about that.
That's cool.
Next up, we got moving out of Spider-Man. We got more Marvel stuff. First up, this one, there's a rumor that Ryan Coogler is back for Black Panther 3, and also that he is on the short list for X-Men
I'd be down with
directing. Yeah, that'd be really good. I think he's done a great job. So I'd be down to see that. Next up, we've got more Agatha title shenanigans.
Oh, good Lord. More?
So first it was Agatha, House of Harkness. I'm just recapping. Then it was Agatha, Coven of Chaos. Then it was Agnes of Westview for like 3 seconds. Then it was Agatha, Darkhold Diaries. Then it was Agatha. That was 3 episodes
Just
ago.
Agatha.
But now it has been retitled.
It's Agatha all
And
along.
I killed Sparky too.
Which I fucking love. So they've basically been trolling us. Just they've
Bastards.
got the person that's doing the design for the title card just pumped out a bunch of them, and they've just been playing this fucking game with us to ultimately come to the most obvious fucking title, and then kind of make it make sense. Or it's like 15 titles, but guess what? It was Agatha all along. Like, I love it.
God damn it, man. I swear you guys rip on me 13 or 14 more times. I'm out of here.
That's what it feels like right now. Is that they're just ripping on us.
I love it. I hail Feige, man. That is brilliant.
You like that level of trolling?
I
though.
do. It's so great. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed one. So before the final title,
God.
a few days before, it was titled Agatha, the Lying Witch in Great Wardrobe. And then a few days later was the final title. I'm sorry, and that was also where I was supposed to do the drum roll, but it's all right. I had the soundbite for Agatha to play. Originally my plan was to just read it,
There
but
you go.
but I decided to actually get that because
okay.
that is one of the most genius parts of WandaVision to me. That
It's so funny.
every once in a great while I'll still just think of that and sing it. It's glorious.
All alone.
Also, Mike in the chat said loved Witch. Yeah, you need to watch that one. That
I
was
still do.
that was a great one.
There's quite a few movies.
It
I
has
still need to watch.
what's her name too from Furiosa. She's in it as well.
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, I think it's actually one of the things that put her on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, was the Witch. So
What's the wrestling video movie that you?
The
told me?
Iron Claw?
The Iron Claw dropped on Max, and I've been eyeballing that. I think I might watch it tomorrow.
that might come up in conversation later. We'll see.
All right.
Next up, we've got a rumor that Marvel is considering scrapping Iron Wars.
All right.
It's kind of in light of this Bob Iger news, because there was a thought process that because not only did you have COVID, but then you had the strikes and things were starting to kind of pile up and get backlogged. There was a thought process that over the next number of years, you might have to see 4 or 5 movies a year to kind of catch up. But now with Iger basically saying, no, we've got to keep this special and limit it.
Yeah.
There's some people connecting the dots to say that there might be some things that were in the plans that might have to get scrapped because if you only got 3 movies a year, like,
are you really gonna bump Spider-Man for this?
Exactly.
Are you gonna bump Fantastic Four for this?
Hey, I will stab
That's
you.
what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. Like
I know, but
if they did that, you would be like,
and if they did that because you now just said that, I would stab you for it.
it'd be my fault.
Oh yeah, you'd take 100% blame, sir.
Oh.
Next up, we've got Daredevil, Born Again. We already talked about it, finished wrapping, but it has now got its release date as well as some details.
Oh, nice.
It'll be debuting on Disney Plus less than a year from now.
Excellent.
March of 2025. So
I'm glad they lifted the whole ratings thing for Disney Plus, and they're just like, fuck it. Put everything on there.
yeah, indeed.
I went to Disney Plus the other day and watched Deadpool 2.
Yeah, I was watching a couple things on Hulu not long ago, and I've done it. They've pushed me over to the way where I've got to go into Disney Plus for my Hulu now. Like they were telling people, they're going to kill the Hulu standalone app.
They need to fix Disney Plus then.
Yeah,
Because I have a problem with Disney Plus Hulu content. Until they integrate it, I'm still going to Hulu for the stuff over there because I can't search for Hulu stuff very accurately.
You can just search the overall search though, and it'll pull it up though. Because like for instance, I actually started watching The Bear.
Well, no, what I'm saying is like I not search. Search isn't the right word. When I go to the categories, when I go to browse, like I went to go look for a movie the other day, and I went to go browse Disney Plus. I'm like, oh, this is Hulu and Disney Plus 2 in 1. No, it only pulled up Disney Plus stuff. I have to go to the Hulu tab to look for Hulu stuff. And, okay, if you're gonna merge them.
Well,
get rid of that shit.
No, because they've done the same thing with the National Geographics and the Star Wars stuff's a little bit more integrated, but ultimately there is those tabs for the different.
No, but
things.
if I go look for action adventure movies, show me every action adventure movie on Disney Plus and Hulu, not just the ones on Disney Plus.
I think that's not what they're ever going to do because I think they do want to still keep the idea of if you want to get into the non-Disney stuff that's going to be rated R. Go into like the Hulu tab. But what I did find out recently though, because I was trying to find a movie and somebody was saying it was on Hulu, and I couldn't find it just scrolling, and almost every streaming service fucking blows when it comes to their scrolling stuff. Yeah. But I went and searched it on the top level Disney Plus thing, and it brought me right to whatever I was looking for. So there is that. So
also they need to make it so where if I watch something on Hulu, it goes into my continue watching.
It does.
Oh, it does?
Oh, yeah.
It didn't for me.
I was just going to mention that as a joke, too, where it's like The Bear, which I think would be like TVMA level, is showing next to my X-Men and Star Wars. Like in my recently watched, it's like when I look at my list now, I'm like, If I would have told myself when Disney Plus launched that I would have these things showing on this list, I would never have believed you. But back to Daredevil, it will also be 9 episodes long. We heard originally that there was going to do 18 episodes, but they are basically splitting it into parts, which basically is seasons. So it's expected to have the other 9 episodes in part 2, which essentially is season 2. They're just not calling it that.
When is it the release date again?
March 2025, so less than a year from now.
Nice.
So yeah, and as quick as this year's going, I mean, our next episode's June 1st, for Christ's sake. As
What
quick,
the fuck?
as quick as this year's going, we're going to be there like that.
Yeah.
Which means we're going to be at Deadpool even quicker.
Woohoo!
All right. So next up, we've got also an announcement that Ironheart is coming in 2025.
Okay.
No release date, but they did say that it will be coming in 2025. So that's awesome. Next up, we've got the Office spinoff. Has now got its landing spot. It is officially on Peacock, and we got a synopsis, and it actually sounds pretty fun. It says,
wait, hold on. I want to guess. I have seen a trailer, which I don't know if it's a trailer or if it's an ad for this, or if it's an ad for them something else.
Okay.
For because they talk about AT&T Internet in it.
oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm wondering if this is the actual real synopsis. Does Dwight invent a pillow that has speakers in it, and then they're trying to sell it?
No.
Okay, that was purely an ad for AT&T then.
Because I think we've talked about it enough, or a bit, where it's like it's in the Office universe, but it's not going to be a spin-off of The Office.
Okay.
So I don't think we're going to ever see an Office character necessarily. But here's the synopsis. The documentary crew that immortalized Dunder Mifflin's Scranton branch is in search of a new subject when they discover a dying historic Midwest newspaper, and the publisher is trying to revive it with volunteer reporters. That sounds perfect.
That could be
to me.
fun.
That sounds wonderful, actually.
So we're not going to have Office people in the show.
I'm not going to say never, because it's how TV works,
Yeah.
right? At some point, fucking a paper salesman's going to come to this newspaper, right? There's places for them to do it. Whether they do it or not, I don't know. But it's a completely different part of the country and stuff. So yeah, who knows? Next up, this one fucking really excites me. Donnie Yen is officially getting a John Wick spinoff.
Nice.
Did you see John Wick 4 yet?
Not yet.
Okay, it's my favorite John Wick of the entire bunch. If I haven't
that's
told you
saying
that,
something.
it is. Billy Skarsgård is in it. Best villain in the entire fucking thing, for sure.
Even over John Wick?
Why? What do you mean?
John Wick is the villain.
I mean, he does do a lot of carnage and mayhem.
Baba Yaga. Isn't that a villain?
He is the best villain in it. Donnie Yen's character is kind of a Boba Fettish character.
Okay.
He's friendly to John Wick, but he's also hired to go after John Wick.
Okay.
He does brilliantly. I mean, you loved him in Rogue One.
Yeah.
So his character was one of the best parts of the movie. So the fact he's getting a spinoff is awesome. He's also, as part of being a hitman, but he's also blind.
Yeah.
So it's great. I am fucking like...
Is he really blind?
Hook it to my veins!
I actually don't know.
He's playing a blind character in John Wick?
He's done it twice now, so... Which made for some interesting fight scenes, too, with him being blind. Donnie Yen, you looking up Mr. Yen there?
Yes, sir.
All right. I will move on to the next one while you're looking for that. The next one, The Last of Us 2, is confirmed for 2025. There's been a lot of worrying that Last of Us Season 2 will not come until 2026. But not only did HBO announce that it's coming in 2025, but I also just saw Pedro Pascal's Instagram where he said, I promise, The Last of Us Season 2 will be in 2025.
Hell yes.
So I'm pretty excited by that, dude. I had basically written it off, and I'm like, we're not getting it until 2026. I don't know why. I just had given it up. I'm like, we're not getting it next year.
Well, HBO takes their time.
They do, which is good, but it's
So-
like there was just part of me that was like, we're not getting it till 26.
Yeah.
Even if it was like January of 26, we're not getting it till 26.
He's not blind, by the way.
No?
No.
Well, twice he's done so well convincingly twice that I would not. I
That's
would
why there
question
was a lot of people online going, wait, is he actually blind?
Is he really blind? Next up, Star Wars: The Skeleton Crew, which is so we got 2 things coming up, right? We've got Acolyte coming out in 2 days after our next episode, and then we've got this one, which we didn't know it's been kind of nebulous, but it's now been announced it will be out before Christmas.
Nice.
This year. So
Nice.
That's pretty awesome. Also, I wanted to mention some things because I don't know how much you've kept up on it. So Skeleton Crew is starring Jude Law.
Okay.
He's in it, or he's part of the starring cast. Created by John Watts of Spider-Man fame.
Okay.
He's done the last 3 Spider-Man movies. Takes place in the New Republic era.
Okay.
And has been described as a galactic version of the classic Amblin coming-of-age feature films of the 80s. So it follows 4 young kids from a tiny planet, and it shows how they got lost in the Star Wars galaxy, and they embark upon a journey to get back home. It was basically pitched as Goonies in Star Wars.
All right. So New Republic,
New Republic. So
not the Old Republic.
the
New
Empire's
Republic,
the Empire's fallen.
gone. Okay.
Yep. And then it says, then the one thing that was mentioned, but despite all of this being called, despite all of this, they are saying that do not think it is 100% like a kid's show and only for kids, and there may be parts of it that get kind of intense and dark. So
Goonies.
yeah, truthfully, yeah, but I think that they're probably nervous because I think the thought process is these 4 young kids are probably going to be the stars.
Yeah.
Jude Law's in it, but he's probably not going to be.
I mean, Stranger Things had 4 kids, and it was
Yes.
still dark as fuck too.
Yes,
so.
no, but I think they're probably wanting to like let people understand that, hey, don't think that you could write this off and just be like,
Yeah.
oh, this is for my 10-year-old. Like, no,
Yeah.
this is still something adults should be watching.
Mike says no E.T. and Skeleton Crew, please. He's already in episode 3. It's all right.
Also, to hell with them for naming it this. As a Stephen King fan,
Skeleton Crew?
dude, every time I'm trying to Google one of them, I get the wrong one. Every fucking time, dude. Jesus Christ, that's a Stephen King title.
This brings me joy.
I will stab you. There's a lot of stabbing threats in this episode. God,
There is a lot. What's
God
up?
damn it, Peter. What's wrong with you?
A lot. We've established this.
Next up, this is just a rumor, so control yourself. Apparently, Sigourney Weaver is in talks for The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Okay.
Our queen, one of our queens.
Okay.
I mean, Linda Hamilton is coming back into Stranger Things, which is pretty
Jamie
fucking
Lee
awesome.
Curtis already came back to Halloween.
Yeah, well, she's done that her whole career, which is awesome. But yes,
No, she came back
our-
to stay.
our queens are all coming back into our things
Yeah.
that we love. And Sigourney Weaver, I love her.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's in fucking Star Wars after Michael Biehn was in that last season of The Mandalorian. Doc Brown was in the last season of Mandalorian. Like, there's been some cool stuff they've been doing with some cool actors that we love. If we see Sigourney Weaver in there, amen. That will be fucking
Who's
awesome.
she gonna play?
I'm hoping she's evil, actually. Because
Yeah?
I think we all just assume that she's going to be like this helpful person that's going to help Mandalorian and she's going to love Grogu. But there's just part of me that's like, let's throw that on its head. What if she's like a fucking hardcore Imperial?
She becomes like Thrawn's badass bitch.
Yeah, something.
I mean, Thrawn doesn't have a badass bitch anymore, so let's get
Yeah.
him a new one.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And Mike says Grogu gives her a hug, but too high. Hey, she knows how to deal with aliens.
I mean, technically that is an alien face hugging her, so.
Yeah, that's true. Then last up, this one brought a lot of joy to me. George Lucas's favorite new Star Wars was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You mean Obi-Wan?
So Lucasfilm Story Group member Pablo Hidalgo, which he's been around for 100 years, he goes back into the pre-Disney era in terms of one of the more front-facing like guys. So he was on a podcast called Full of Sith, which is a wonderful name for a podcast.
That's not bad.
Hidalgo revealed that there were feelings of anxiety early on when playing with this, in this Star Wars era that was set between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, where, as Hidalgo explains, fans would have assurances of already thinking they knew what happened. To help work through that, Lucasfilm reached out to Lucas before they started the production on Obi-Wan and gave to give them some clarity on if they were on the right track. And Hidalgo shared, quote, part of that was interfacing with George early on. There were conversations had and with George, or conversations had with George over what what his thoughts were, and he was 100% supportive. And then he added, quote, I've heard it said that it's been one of his favorite things that's come out of Star Wars because he recognizes so much of what he did with the prequels is basically being brought forward and celebrated, and we're celebrating it. So that's cool, man.
That
I
is
mean, I ultimately,
high praise.
I'm never gonna like go to that realm of like, well, if Lucas likes or dislikes something that like changes the argument at all. But he is the maker, and there's just part of me that's like kind of cool to hear because like we haven't heard a lot from him. I've kind of wondered how he feels about Star Wars now, like now that it's out of his hands. Like it's not his story anymore. Ultimately, it's always going to come back to his roots, but it's not his he's not commanding things anymore.
Right.
So I've always wondered. So it's kind of cool to hear something positive. And I fucking love Obi-Wan too. So it's cool to hear that he liked it, because there's been a lot of people out there that have bashed on the show. But yeah, to me, I stan that show.
Yeah.
That show's pretty fucking awesome.
It's really good.
But that's it for the news. So let's go ahead and jump on over
All right.
to the main topic, which I will let you take over then. And also, I just realized I meant to do one more thing on the slides, which was to set up the turning our stuff on and off. I didn't do that. So as we change each slide, both of our answers are going to be on there. So we'll
go at the same time.
I mean, kind of, yeah. But ultimately, I won't be able to have the ability to
go back and forth.
Push buttons on to like show your answer and then show my answer or vice versa. I meant to do that, but I lost track of it, I guess.
That's all right.
So
that's all right.
But go ahead.
So what we're doing here for our main topic is, and we got about an hour, which is great, so we can actually go in depth and not rush ourselves, which is fantastic. Thank you for giving us time on the news this time.
Yeah.
We're dreamcasting the X-Men, the animated series in live action as it was set in the 90s. So we're not looking at casting 90s actors. We're looking at casting actors from today to play this series set in 1994 or whatever the first episode.
There's the one
place.
DC thing I saw where they're like, why don't they just make a Superman and Batman live action show where they just basically adapt the two animated series from the 90s? Like, and they basically just said, like, we would all sign up. Like, even though I know what the Batman animated series or Superman animated series, what those were, they're like, if you just adapted that all in live action, he's like, we would fucking die of joy. Like, that's kind of what you're talking about here.
Exactly.
Is ultimately what we're going to do is, like, look at the animated series, let's adapt it in live action. Today.
Exactly. And we couldn't talk about X-Men 97 as you haven't watched it yet. It did just air its final episode.
Yeah.
For the first season.
Yes.
There is going to be more.
Indeed.
And everything. And I thought this would be a really fun way to kind of get back to those characters. You're watching the original series. I just watched X-Men 97.
Yeah.
So we're both pretty familiar with the characters and everything like that. So who are we going to cast?
Ultimately, the one thing I want to make clear is this is not MCU.
Nope.
We're not. This isn't casting the MCU X-Men.
This is completely separate. This is like a Fox thing, kind of separate.
Yeah.
Like James Gunn's talking about doing it with DC. We're gonna have two different Batmans. We could have two different Supermans.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Why can't we have two different X-Men?
Because I'm just saying that to say that at some point we might want to dreamcast the MCU,
The MCU X-Men, which would be a separate topic.
It would be, yes.
Now, would some of these cross over? I mean, I don't know. Maybe. See how we feel about it.
Yeah.
So we're going to start. Are you able to go start bottom to top?
Yes, that's how I have it set up.
Okay, cool.
Mean, what am I, a Philistine?
I just wanted to make sure.
We don't want to start with Bolivar Trask as our last entrance.
Yeah.
We've got to talk about him first. So let's go ahead and jump on over.
So Boulevard Trask is the henchman. He's the scientist guy who helps devise the Sentinels.
Yeah.
And so I got Pedro Pascal.
He was also played by Peter Dinklage in
the X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's one it was.
Yes. So we have had a live-action version of him, but I think Pedro Pascal would make a great bad guy. He's played a lot of good recently, so I think it would be nice to see him swing back to the bad.
Yeah.
And this is a great... I mean, look at the mustaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's already got it.
Yeah.
He's already got it.
Yeah,
So-
and it's funny because he was used quite a bit in the X-Men animated series.
Mm-hmm.
He was in there quite a bit, popping in and out. For me, I've got Stephen Root,
He's great.
which is Mr. William Fontaine de la Tour d'Autrive in King of the Hill. He was also, what's his name in Office Space? I never fucking remember his name. With the stapler?
Stanley? No.
No.
I don't remember. But
I don't know why,
He's Charles Boyle's dad in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, he's one of those, like, just absolutely prolific actors.
You think he could pull off, like, the menacing bad guy?
Milton, thank you.
Milton.
I don't know why, but that name was just fucking incapable of sticking to my brain for some reason. It drives me nuts. Like
You even have a red stapler. Yeah, look.
I do. Yeah, of course I do.
Wait. For the audio listeners.
But Stephen Root is just an incredible fucking actor. Everything he does, he is a favorite.
News Radio. That's where I fucking know him from. I used to watch News Radio when I was a kid.
Yeah. He's been in that. I mean, he's one that the Coen brothers tend to hit up every once in a while. He was one of my favorite scenes of his is No Country for Old Men, where he's the one that hired Woody Harrelson's character.
Oh, okay.
And he's up in the building, and like the one guy's like, "Oh, you don't have a 13th floor," and he's like, "Oh, we'll look into it." And then eventually Anton Chigurh comes to his office and kills him. And says, like, you hired one person, you don't fucking hire two people. You pick one tool for the job. And then the secretary guy's like, "You're gonna kill me?" He's like, "Depends. Did you see me?"
Nope.
And Stephen Root's the one that he killed. So yeah, he's just a wonderful actor, and
he's
I feel
also
like
in Dodgeball too.
He just has an element where he can be very comedic. I mean, Bill Dauterive, for God's sake.
I mean, yeah.
But I think there's also times where he's played like a hard and bad motherfucker too. Like he's an actor that can pull that. Like some comedic actors, you're just like, sorry, dude.
I can't take you seriously.
Like there's like,
but we've also been wrong about comedic actors too.
Yeah, certainly.
So I mean,
I would, to me, the examples I always use. There's Jim Carrey, where it's like, come on,
you're
Jim.
still Jim Carrey.
Come on. Versus Robin Williams, that was like a fucking Juilliard level actor that just so happened to get his break in comedy and was a very funny guy.
And was arguably the best in comedy because he was very, 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 very funny.
But when he had his drama spell in the 90s, and won a couple Oscars, like, I don't think anyone should have been surprised because he wasn't a comedian that kind of got into acting. He was an actor that got into comedy and still at his root was a fucking actor.
Yeah.
Like, and I think Stephen Root's definitely that way. So, I think that'd be cool though. I was with yours, I almost thought about it being kind of a redemption from Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah.
Where he played the villain.
He played such a weird villain in that too. This would be just the straight black hat. This is the straight bad guy.
Yeah.
Mutants are bad. I'm creating Sentinels. Kill all mutants.
You know what's funny is I almost put him on my list, on mine too. But you know what? I don't want to say it stopped me, but you know what? Because you know how I got to him?
How?
Thought-wise? Is I was like, you know what? Trask is just an evil motherfucker.
Yeah.
I want to get someone that's just like almost universally beloved.
Okay.
I want to get someone that everyone's just like, I love that guy.
And then you make him evil because you want to see people suffer.
And I'm like, you know what? Pedro might kind of be in that role where just people fucking love him. He's
make him basically a racist here.
What's not to love about him? But then go ahead and make him trash. So, he was actually on my thought process, but then somehow Stephen Root came to mind, probably because I've been seeing a lot of No Country for Old Men clips recently on YouTube and shit. But that
you were saying you're about to do a rewatch for that.
Yeah, exactly. So when he came to mind, I'm like, you know what? That's just too good to let go. And then when I saw your list, I was like, oh, I mean, not that I don't want to be the same as you, but I'm like, that's kind of, I like it when there
great minds think alike.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's cool that we almost have the same one, but it's also, I also do appreciate it when we're not the same too.
No,
but
it's interesting that both of us had kind of similar thoughts. Is that Pedro's been a good guy for so long that I want him to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
And you have a good guy who's been a good guy for a long time and wants to be so we kind of actually have similar thoughts in that vein as well.
Because I think, especially in the animated series, Trask is almost cartoonishly bad.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think it'd be...
He's like mustache twirling.
Yeah, it'd be really easy to, like, ruin this character. If you went too hard with, like, how they did in the animated series, it'd be a joke. It would be, like, two-dimensional.
So you're saying you want to make him like have a tragic backstory or something? No,
not necessarily, but I think adding someone that's likable in there helps balance out the mustache twirling villain. And I think like Peter Dinklage is the same way. Who doesn't love that guy, right?
Yeah.
So when they cast him in Days of Futures Past for that role, it's like, and they also kind of made it with him where it was like he kind of had bad intentions a bit, but not entirely. His entire purpose of those wasn't to like wipe out and kill mutants, right? Like, but he did have some elements where it's like, you're not the best person.
You're kind of a shady person,
yeah,
dude.
But it's like, who doesn't love Peter Dinklage? I mean, he's been one of the best characters in Game of Thrones up to that point.
Yeah.
He was still in it, so it's like he's one of the more beloved
That came
people
out of the height of Game of Thrones, too.
Exactly. So it's like, I think we thought in the same way that those casting directors of that movie did, where it's like, well, you can't go too cartoonishly villainish with your actor because the character himself is kind of
Mike, yes, Pedro was the bad guy in Wonder Woman 1984, but it wasn't like mustache twirling bad. He was like
charismatic,
and
he kind of got a redemption in the end too.
Yeah, redemption in the end. He was also trying to do good. He just didn't realize he was doing a lot of bad along the way. So kind of thing. So, all right. So after Trask, we got our favorite Claude, beastie, great sense of smell, Canadian mutant, Sabretooth.
Naturally, yes.
Dude, the Mountain is a fucking great pick.
I like how he said beastie, too.
He is a beastie. He's literally named Sabretooth.
Yeah. So we both picked physically imposing people, which makes sense. I will say Liev Schreiber did a great job.
Liev Schreiber is amazing.
I almost thought about casting him.
I almost said fucking and do the same thing.
Because it's like,
Dude, I pulled up a picture of him. Like, what does he look like now? Dude, he looks the exact fucking same.
Yeah.
Another goddamn vampire in Hollywood.
There's a lot of people picking him for the Balin Skull recast for Star Wars Ahsoka. Because Ray Stevenson passed away.
Balin
Skull.
I'm trying to remember Balin.
The main villain of the show.
In Ahsoka?
Yeah. Has the apprentice.
Right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
he did pass away.
He passed away right before the show aired.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So there's been a lot of talk about what happens there, and people have been picking Liev Schreiber because Liev Schreiber is about the same age. You just give him a little bit more of a build, get that gray beard on him, and he might be able to pull that off. But yes, to Sabretooth, our Sabretooth, though, we both decided to go physically imposing, it sure seems.
So I have to ask, you haven't watched Reacher, right?
I have not. I've seen a couple clips.
Okay,
though,
see, that's my extent too, is I've seen clips from him.
and he's a big motherfucker.
And he's a big motherfucker. He's an imposing motherfucker, but he also has a presence about him.
Yeah.
There's a scene that I saw from Reacher. So spoiler for Reacher if you haven't watched it.
Well, you don't even know if it's a spoiler. I mean, you haven't seen enough of the show to know if it's.
Yeah, he walks up to an ATM to like get cash out, and there's a woman there like shaking, and like he gets a sense that something's wrong, and he looks over and he's like, carjacking, and she's like, yeah, my kid's in the car. And he's like, don't turn around. He's like, okay. That car to our left? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, okay, I'll take care of it. He goes over and literally punches through the fucking window and beats the shit out of the guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I've heard it's worth a watch. I need to. And also, he is, I don't want to say he's campaigning, but he certainly expressed interest along with the fan castings people have of him being Batman.
Yeah.
And he's embraced that where he's like, fuck yeah, I'll play Batman any day. So
he could pull off the physique of it for sure.
Yeah. And would he be the first Batman that's truly been a, like, because Batman in some of the comics and cartoons is like almost comedically large.
Yeah.
Like he's, but most of the actors, and they put on muscle, but it's like
Christian Bale.
When you're
Christian Bale doesn't have that big of a front.
Yeah, as I'll say, when you're Christian Bale putting on 40 pounds of muscle, that doesn't show much because you're a fucking toothpick to start.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton wasn't massive.
Michael Keaton was short.
Val Kilmer, no. I mean, and I'm not saying any of these guys are out of shape. I'm just saying that none of them had that Batman animated series like fucking. Build.
The Dark Knight Returns is the one I really think about, where it's the older Batman.
Yeah.
And he's just yoked.
Yeah. And and this guy, when I first heard like people wanted him, I'm like, what? And then I looked, I'm like, oh,
that's why
I could see that. And then I have the Mountain from Game of Thrones because I was just like thinking, I'm like, okay, who's the biggest motherfucker I can think of that's like just obscenely like you'd be terrified to be in the same room with them.
Is there a difference between the relationship between the Mountain and the Hound versus Sabretooth and Wolverine?
No, not really.
Not really. They're both kind of assholes. They both hate each other, but at the end, they both kind of like each other, and they both want to fight.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Yeah.
Okay, copy and paste. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, and again, I wanted to go as physically imposing as possible.
He is a giant motherfucker.
He's just big.
I saw him standing next to Shaq, and he made Shaq look small.
Yeah.
Shaq!
Shaq's like, how'd you get so big?
Yes! Mike says Richardson is in Blue Mountain State. I have not watched that, but that's a football thing, if I remember right. And then Mike says, yes, Tad, watch Reacher. It's head and shoulders above the Cruise movie.
And that's what ruined it for me.
Is that you knew you'd watch the Cruise movie?
Yeah, and it was just like, Jack Reacher thing. I'm like, I'm fucking not interested.
No, thank you.
And then as time went, I heard from people, this is really cool and stuff. This is a good show. You should watch it. And I'm like, and then I saw a couple clips. I'm like, okay.
That actually
and honestly,
look bad.
I'm a little bit softer on Tom Cruise now than I was back then, too.
Yeah.
Like, I've come around on Tom. Early on, I wanted to hate Tom for being a fucking weirdo, which he kind of is still. But it's like when I see some of this shit that he's done, I'm like, this dude's trying to kill himself to entertain us. Like the least we could do is watch his fucking movies.
I mean,
like,
is it any different than Jackie Chan?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like
and everyone loves Jackie Chan.
Yeah. There's the weird fucking Scientology shit. I get it, and like, but there's also part of me that wonders like how much is he just a hostage of them, or how much is he tied in at the highest level, where he gets what he wants, or have they got enough fucking confession shit from him to like sink his career if he ever decided.
Yeah,
to
and
step
so he
out.
just has to do everything that they want.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm not gonna make excuses. That's weird shit, but like. I that's on my list though. But yeah, Sabretooth, it'd be cool. It looks like we both definitely had bigger gentlemen. But yeah, that was my thought process. And also, I think he did a good job as the Mountain too. They did have a couple actors playing the Mountain during the course of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
They recast him, but this is the one that played him for the majority of the show.
Jesus Christ.
And he's a big motherfucker. He's also married to a small lady too. She's
dude,
she's
him
like
standing next to his wife is hilarious.
She's like 5'6", just this really tiny petite woman, and he's just this fucking monster.
6'9", 400 pounds.
Yeah, just
Good Lord.
in Hollywood, when an actor like because it was funny because I was actually just to make sure I wasn't missing anyone, I googled like tall actors, and I got this entire list of things, and there's all these guys that are like 6'1", 6'2". I'm like, that's my height. That's not tall. So
his wife is 5'2", which is the height of my wife, and born the same year.
yeah,
1990. Like,
Yeah.
holy hell, dude. Like, that is insane.
yeah.
5'2" next to 6'9".
Yeah, but in Hollywood, there's so many people that are short that 6'9", you may as well be fucking 8 feet tall.
He's only 35?
Oh yeah, he's not that old.
I thought he was in his 40s when he shot Game of Thrones. I didn't realize he was a younger guy.
Yeah. Oh, indeed.
Okay,
Indeed.
great pick, Ted. I like that one.
Yeah.
So-
you as well. I wouldn't have thought
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of him just because I haven't seen it. I don't know if I've ever really seen anything with him in it. I know Reacher's a thing he's famous for.
Yeah.
But again, I haven't watched that. I'm Blue Mountain State. I've not seen either. So he's definitely in my mind. But I always think, like, for me now, it's kind of like with Pennywise. There's the God damn it. There's the one actor where he almost got cast. He was who was the one guy? He was new in Guardians 3. The kid, he was in that stupid fucking
Warlock? Adam Warlock?
Adam Warlock, yes. That actor, he was this close to being cast as Pennywise the Clown, and to this day it never came through, but still to this day when I see him I'm like, oh, Pennywise, even though he was never cast as Pennywise.
Will Poultier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's kind of, and I think that's the same way with your guy is now to me he's primarily like, oh, the one they want for Batman. Not the studios, but like fans want him as Batman. So it's like now that's an association that, I don't know, maybe Reacher will break me of that. But right now, every time I see him, I'm like, oh, the one they want for Batman.
Yeah.
And I'm not down on that idea, or I'm okay with that idea. I'm not poo pooing that idea. He'd be a good Batman.
Yeah.
All right.
So next we're gonna go into our first X-Men member of the team. OG X-Men. We're gonna go with Morph.
All right.
And I got Andy Serkis, because put a mocap suit on him and let him play with whoever the fuck you want to digitize over him. Because the thing is that with Morph, that I forget, is that when he transforms into someone, he has their ability.
Yeah.
So like healing with Wolverine, he has ice with Iceman and all that kind of stuff, because I didn't realize that. I always thought he could just look like them. I didn't realize he got their abilities as well.
I'm trying to remember if that's in the original animated series or not, because I remember him looking like people a lot. But I wonder if they added that for 97. I mean, it could have been something in the comics too. I mean, I'm not saying it's like
maybe they went back and fixed it because they're like, whoops, he should have had the powers.
Yeah, because ultimately, like, shapeshifting is like kind of underpowered if you don't have the abilities. So maybe and I could be wrong. I've been watching X-Men the original series over the course of like months now, and he's like a little bit at the front. You think he dies. He shows up again in the middle, and he just kind of pops in and out throughout the show a little bit.
Yeah.
So I just don't remember him having powers. But, still, again, that could even be a comic book thing that he had in the comics, because it makes more sense. If I'm building a mutant, I would let him have the abilities of who he's. It's like Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat. Like, when he turns into Scorpion, he can throw a fucking spear. When he turns into Sub-Zero, he can throw ice. Like, that makes sense to me. So
it is that way in X-Men 97. Spoiler alert. Sorry.
But it's like Mystique does it though. Mystique can look like people, but she doesn't have their abilities.
Right.
So
which is two different people having two different kinds of powers.
Yes.
Which means that they're not the same, mutant. Which is kind of cool to have that. And I just think Andy Serkis, we've seen him. He's so versatile.
Oh yeah.
So just mocap him and let him do what he does best. Play 8 different people.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
So me, I've not seen X-Men 97. I'm going pretty much strictly off of the old cartoon, which I have on the screen. And I went with Barry Keoghan.
Good choice.
Yeah, I just feel like he's
MCU alumni.
I feel like he's kind of
so is Andy Serkis.
Yeah. I feel like he's just one of those people that, like, he's young. I haven't seen a shitload of stuff of him, but it feels like every time I see him, though, it's like, wait, this is the same guy? Like, he's not full on Gary Oldman, But
he's close.
he might be a young Gary Oldman. Is all I'm saying, man.
Okay, you have to tell me. Did Gary Oldman make your list?
Almost.
Same here.
Almost.
Do you want to tell me what part now, or do you want to wait?
We can wait. I thought you have Gary on here.
Do I?
You do. And because I finished mine up, and then I looked at yours, and I was a little bit.
Oh, that's right, I do. I forgot I put him there.
I was like a little bit ashamed because I'm like, man, I feel like it's like almost my
Your calling card.
Yeah, it's my calling card. But I'm like, he was almost there, but didn't actually make this. But Barry, brilliant dude. I think one of the latest thing I saw him in was Masters of the Air.
Great.
Did a wonderful job.
Yeah.
But it was so different than what I saw him in Marvel versus what I saw him in another thing. He's a brilliant actor.
He was also in the Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays Joker.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't really see him much. But I also
But
think
you
like
hear him, and it doesn't sound anything like any of the other characters. You're right.
And I think like with Morph, he kind of had like that high pitch voice.
Yeah.
And some in the original, I don't know what he is in '97.
It's the same.
And I just kind of thought like I think Barry could pull that off.
Yeah.
Like so that was my pick for Morph. I feel like he kind of has that chameleon element. Like because I even thought about Gary in this role.
Because he's a chameleon.
For the joke of the fact that he literally, if there is Morph in real life, it's fucking Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Like that door might be Gary Oldman right now. We would never know it.
It probably is.
It might be. So,
I got a confession for you. I actually had Barry here for a minute.
Really? So that's.
I was thinking about him because he really did make an impression on me in Masters of the Air. And spoiler alert, there's someone else from Masters of the Air on my list, which is why I thought of him.
Yeah.
So, but when I thought of Andy Serkis, and I'm like, oh, dude, you're going to have someone who's CGI morphing into someone else. Like, just put Andy Serkis in a mocap suit and just call it good.
And see, I think with mine, it would probably be more like he's in the role for the most part, and then when he transforms, it's just the other actor.
Yeah.
We're looking at doing it different ways, which is totally fine. Whereas yours, like, he's probably going to be a little bit more amorphous and shit. Like, versus mine, it's like he's going to be Barry Keoghan for a majority of the time, but then when he transforms into, whoever.
Colossus.
Yeah. Exactly.
The actor who's playing Colossus comes in.
Yeah, Arnold's kid, probably. Have you seen Arnold's kid?
Yes.
It's nuts.
It's scary.
I get it. That's how genetics works, but it's like still, there's times where you see someone and it's
You're like, that's a copy and paste.
That's a clone.
That's a copy and paste. Yeah.
Is that Ice Cube's kid the same way when he played his dad?
Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Yeah.
She looks a lot like a young Carrie.
She still needs to be recast.
Yeah. Yeah.
It needs to happen.
Absolutely.
Indeed. So yeah, that's Morph, and I don't know. Morph's awesome. I do like Morph.
Get your sense of humor in with Morph too. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
And he has it. Barry does. So does Andy. Both of them can do comedic stuff with it. Messing with Wolverine.
Indeed.
All right, next one, Rogue. I wanted to put her higher because she's always such a big X-Men, but I felt like there was too many dudes, and I wanted to sprinkle in.
No, I thought it was cool because I think it's cool to mix it up to where like it's not top heavy.
Yeah.
So I thought you actually did that on purpose with Rogue. I'm like, maybe he's just trying to make it a little bit less.
That's what I was meaning. Is I wanted one of the bigger heavy hitters plus one of the women down here, so we wouldn't start with 7 straight dudes.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
But I got Ella Purnell, which is the Fallout series, but she's also done a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
She was phenomenal in Fallout.
Yeah.
Like,
I figured it was a Fallout reaction when I looked her up. I was trying to get pictures. And I was like, oh, she was in Fallout. I'm like, she's probably fresh in Peter's mind from that. So.
She blew my socks off in Fallout.
Yeah.
So I think she's, and this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler. I went kind of young for the core cast of most of the X-Men.
And I was bouncing back and forth, but then when I was like, well, Peter said adapt the original X-Men series. So I went and looked up because I was like, I'm pretty fresh. I'm in the middle of watching it right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the weird thing is a lot of these people seem older than, like, they're not students.
Yeah.
And I looked it up and like, yeah, it's like the prevailing theory is like Cyclops and them are like in their 30s. Like, and it's just most of them are older. And it's like, so I ended up moving my castings a bit older because a couple of them I even have like, there's only 3 that I actually kept because I like an honorable mention. I don't have them on the screen, but I'll mention them. And 2 of them are big characters that were both younger, and I ended up flipping them both older just to like go a little bit more in line with what the animated series had. Yeah.
I went with they're a little bit old. They're not students because for me, what age do you think they stop being students?
I'd say like high school to college, maybe.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm picturing post college.
Yeah.
They've come back to the mansion. They're teachers. They're X-Men.
Yeah.
27 to 30. That's where my
Yeah.
castings is. She's 27.
Okay.
So that's where I went. Also, I think she has the look. The picture you have here is fantastic. She's kind of got the almost like a headband on already with her bangs.
Yeah.
So you give the white and give her the jacket, and we're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and I went Lily James
okay.
because everything in the world is better with Lily James in it. You just watched The Darkest Hour not too long ago.
I did.
God, she's just in a lot. I mean, and every movie I've seen her in, I've been like, she is just the most fucking charming actor I just, every time I see her in any movie, I'm like, I want more of this woman. And I'm just like, that screamed Rogue to me. I was like, she needs to be a charming person, you know, like in my mind. So I went Lily James. Yes, I am somewhat biased because I think Lily should be in everything, but that was my pick. I think she'd be great for Rogue.
I just looked her up. She's in Baby Driver, Yesterday, and The Iron Claw.
Oh, that's right, The Iron Claw too.
Yeah.
So she is kind of fresh in my mind. And then Yesterday, one of my favorite movies of the last decade or so, because it's just like a love letter to the Beatles, but it was a cool story too. And yeah, Lily was great in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think she'd be a great Rogue. Yeah, I don't know. Rogue's awesome.
It's a great pick. It's a fantastic one here for her. Rogue's an important character.
Yeah.
Because you got to have the story with not being able to touch. You have Gambit and everything like that.
Yeah, and
so you got to look at the chemistry between the two of them.
Yeah, the Gambit
so.
thing's huge, especially in the animated series. I don't know how 97 did it, but the first series, like, that's constant. Not constant. It's throughout the fucking show, though. In some cases, I feel like they hit it harder than they do Scott and Gene.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to give anything away for 97, so I'm not going to answer you. So
I assume that it's the same people involved. I'm sure they didn't just like lean away from that element, but
yeah.
It just because I was pretty shocked by it. You know what hit me in the X-Men, the original? I keep wanting to call it 97 because that's when the fucking series came out.
Yeah.
I've been calling that animated series X-Men 97 almost my entire life, and now they fucking changed the whole fucking paradigm.
It's X-Men the animated series, and then
I
X-Men
know.
97.
I've been saying X-Men 97 because
well, fix yourself.
for the longest time there was X-Men movies that were coming out, so
Right.
it's like I always had to be clear. We're talking about the cartoon from 97, not the fucking movie or whatever. But let's see. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. The love thing in there that I don't remember at all from being a kid is Wolverine's love interest.
Jean?
No, Storm.
Wait, really?
There's episodes where they're like, there's one where they're like from like an alternate version or future, kind of like the Cable stuff, where they're married. And
Whoa.
like that episode starts when they're like out on a picnic date together when they get pulled into like the whole time traveling shenanigans.
Whoa.
And I'm like, did I miss this episode when I was a kid?
I don't remember that.
I know, I was like,
whoa.
But I wasn't against it. I was like, that's actually kind of cool. Like better than just fucking fawning after Jean that you're never going to get. Like, you know, and Storm's awesome. So it was just, I was wondering if you remembered that at all.
I don't know.
That knocked my socks off.
That's
and
crazy.
They're out there on a date. I'm like, this is a fucking date. And then they get pulled to the future and they like see like the futures, like they're this alternate version of themselves. And they're like, it's like, oh, honey, I love you. And like, you know, I'll do anything to protect my wife. And I'm like, what?
Tad just started like breaking.
Yeah, it's like what's going on
Does
here?
not compute.
Yeah, it's just
Mike says Rogue for him is Jenny Ortega.
Oh yeah, and
Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, she's so great.
She's fantastic.
I
Little bit younger though, right? So going a little bit younger for the X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought about her for a couple roles, but again, when I was trying to like hedge towards a little bit older, I was like, no, I guess I can't really use her and a couple actors. Unfortunately, I ended up leaving behind because I wanted to go a little bit older with my cast to reflect what I've been seeing in the animated series. So,
sounds good. All right, we're moving up to the big blue boy.
Yep.
Mr. Dr. Hank McCoy, give me some beast action here. I got to wait a little bit for the screen to change. This is where I had Gary Oldman. That's right.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a voice, right? We're not going to put him in a blue suit.
Yeah, most likely to just be a voice.
Yeah, it's going to be a voice. We're going to have CGI or someone in the Chewbacca suit, you know, the fuzzy suit. And I think Gary Oldman, I mean, look at the glasses. They match. So
Yeah, I found I found one where because I've been watching Slow Horses, which is like a British thing that he's doing
Yeah.
for Apple TV, which is wonderful. And he's just this like grizzled, disheveled, like kind of disgraced
Scientist?
MI6 agent
Yeah.
in that. But it's just like I was like, there's a number of different Gary faces
Yep.
I was looking at, and I'm like, I'm going with the Slow Horses one because he looks like Beast. For
he
God's
does.
sake.
He does exactly. And like we already talked about when we were talking about him earlier, can play a door
Yeah, I mean,
and win an Oscar.
yes,
Like,
yes.
so I think him voicing Beast with like well, actually, Professor, the circumference of the sun is actually da-da-da-da-da, exactly like spot on and everything. So there's Gary for you.
we do have our contractually required Gary Oldman
Yep.
soundbite.
And he's wonderful. He's Gary Oldman. So, I mean, wouldn't he fit like the big brain for the X-Men for
Oh,
you?
yeah.
Like, especially if you're just doing a voice here.
Yeah.
You're not having him jump in the suit. Kelsey Grammer was make-upped up, right?
Yeah, both. He's done both now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make-upped up and CGI?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think the CGI would work just fine for Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah. And for me, I went Rahul Kali
Fucking love him.
from the Flanagan family.
Yep.
I dove into the Flanagan family to see.
He's also
and,
in iZombie.
yeah, but he's Flanagan royalty now.
He is.
So I just thought of him. I mean, yes, he's a little bit younger, but I picture
That's
the same
fine.
as he's going to be more of a voice.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't go transforming like they did in the second X-Men live action series.
He'd maybe a little bit. He's a tall dude, so he may be a little bit tall if you try to do like put him in a suit.
And
kind of thing.
I thought of it
Yeah.
more as from the CG, and this is
Okay.
more of a voice thing. But yeah, I think Beast is great. I really went through a number of different iterations of different people for him.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to think of like great voices.
Yep.
I thought of Ralph that just got cast as Galactus.
Yeah.
He's got a great voice.
I honestly thought about Morgan Freeman.
You know who I had in the role for a bit, and then I moved him was Clancy Brown, the guard from Shawshank.
Oh, okay.
Like, because he's just got that gravelly
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
So I was kind of mostly going for voice, but then I ended up, when I started diving into the Flanagan family, I was like looking for someone. I saw him, like, you know what? He'd be a cool Beast. And if it ever came to a point where like I wanted to show him as a human, like I think Rahul could be a good like younger Hank McCoy
Yeah.
before the.
yeah,
whatever.
absolutely.
So-
You know who you just made me think about that I probably should have thought about for Beast here? Voice actor,
Yeah.
Flanagan alumni. Amazing voice actor, does all the ranges of voices. Dude, imagine Mark Hamill as Beast.
Yeah, I thought of him. He was on my list at one point. Like,
That's not a bad idea, right?
yeah, and I also was like trying to think of like soothing. At one point, I started
Yeah.
going down the realm of like soothing voices because I feel like Hank's very, especially in the animated series.
That's what made me think of Morgan Freeman.
He's got kind of the soothing, like
Yeah.
whatever, but then he like is quoting Shakespeare and shit. I really love Beast. I remember loving him in the cartoon back in the day.
What's not to like? He's a calm dude.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
a scientist. Scientists are never bad.
yeah.
Wait.
And then he's in jail during that whole first season or so, like because he gets arrested from the first.
And he's just making like a
Thing.
civil rights
Yeah.
point and everything.
Yeah, exactly. So I've always kind of loved Beast. So yeah, this was a fun one to cast for sure. And of course, with the picture, I had to find one where he's upside down. Oh, I didn't do that on purpose, actually. A lot of these I couldn't find good pictures on Google, so I just pulled up a couple episodes and just like scrolled through and found like someone and tried to find like a single shot of them. And when I found Beast and found this scene, I was like, I want him in glasses. I'm like a lab coat would be cool, but glasses are a must. So I was like, glasses the book, glasses the
Yeah.
lab coat, and I found this one where he's upside down, like doing the shit while he's
Like the
dangling.
experiment.
Yeah, doing the experiment dangling. I'm like, that's the one.
That's it, right there.
Oh man,
Hell yeah.
they've done a good job with Hank in live action too. With
Kelsey Grammer was amazing.
Kelsey Grammer, and then I'm blanking on the fucking dude's name. He was in Mad Max Fury Road. He was the one that had Mad Max as his blood boy or his blood bag. He just got cast as Lex
Nicholas-
Luthor. Yeah, Nicholas Holt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a great job with him as well. So, yeah, Beast is awesome though.
Yeah.
Fun-
Absolutely.
Fun stuff.
Absolutely great. Those are good ones. Next up, we have the kind of important role, if we're going to start with the first couple episodes, which is about Jubilee, Night of the Sentinel, and everything
I
like
would say
that.
beyond that, man, she's pretty main throughout the whole
She
show.
also becomes an X-Men like pretty early on. She's still in school
Yeah.
in X-Men 97, and she's a full-fledged X-Men.
yeah.
So,
So let's jump on over to her.
let me make my thing go live. Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown. I mean,
Okay. So
give me 11. Give me power. Have her powers where she's not, making her nose bleed, and I would love to see the transformation because I also Godzilla 2 was just fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
From watching it, and she's in that, and she does a great role.
Yeah.
Where she's not 11. She's
Yeah.
someone different.
Yeah.
And I would love to see what she does with a 90s teenager wanting to go to the mall, but has fireworks coming out of her hands.
Yeah.
Like, I love Millie Bobby Brown.
Just Jubilee's powers though. And it's not even just her. Throughout the animated series I'm watching, I'm like, there's some of these where I'm like, come on. Like some of these have like really cool powers, and other ones you're like, that.
You don't think that's realistic though? Like some people would get those powers.
I'm not poo-pooing the show. I'm just like, can you imagine how shitty that would be?
Yeah.
That you end up with fucking
you win the
sparkle
genetic
fingers,
lottery to become a mutant and get superpowers, and you get sparklers.
sparkle hands, or fucking throwing playing cards.
Oh. Don't you fucking slander Gambit. No, we're not doing that here, sir. I'm in control of this show. You do not slander Gambit.
Oh, I will, sir.
No.
So this does bring up the conversation.
Okay.
Did you know that she's supposed to be Asian?
Is she really?
They did not animate her well.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I did not at all. I didn't even reach out to you beforehand to like whatever, because I'm like, you know what? It's completely legitimate to not, because I mean, even the screen grab I got here, she doesn't look Asian. Then there's sometimes they animate her in the original series and she actually looks more Asian. But yeah, I don't remember what her real name is, but it's Lee is her last name. But yeah, she's supposed to be Asian, but they did a very poor job of animating her back.
Well,
and
I feel kind of bad
did they
now.
not fix that in '97? Does she still look the same?
She looks the exact same as that picture. I mean, maybe a little bit more high def and everything, but she looks like that.
But ultimately, again, I'm not saying it to like throw water on you. It's because again, I think it was watching it as an adult was the first time I realized she was Asian, and it was just because there was some scenes where she was animated differently.
She looks more white in. Well, maybe not.
Every once in a while, they animate her eyes to kind of have like more of an Asian shape to it, and it's like, oh, okay, there we go. She looks Asian there. But I would say majority of the time she looks like she does on the screen right now, and you just cannot see it. Like they did not animate her to look Asian. So
I don't know. What do you think?
Oh yeah, that's way better. That's way less ambiguous than she is in the originals. So no, it's fine.
I did not catch on to that. I'm a bad person.
I thought about asking you beforehand, but I'm like, you know what? This is a point to be made that they did not do a great job in the original series making it clear that she was Asian. But for me, I picked Peyton Elizabeth Lee. I'm trying to remember where I got her from. I feel like I've seen her in something. But also it was funny because once I found her, I found this picture of her in a yellow coat.
Yeah, which fits, and she's also got the bangs and everything like that, like a '90s kid might have.
Yeah,
so.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I don't remember how I found her. If I'd seen her in something.
Did you just look up the name Lee?
No, I know she's pretty popular because when she was really young, she did Scandal and Shameless, and then she did some Disney Channel stuff, and then she's starting to kind of hit now where she's starting to do like breaking out of the Disney realm.
Yeah.
And I think I probably just maybe heard that kind of stuff, whatever. But yeah, no, when I saw her though, I'm like, yeah. And then also I saw some like clips and I was like, oh yeah, she's got that personality to kind of be like the even annoying to me as
a little bit. A teenage girl. I mean, a teenager.
Yeah.
Not just girls. Teenage boys are annoying as hell too.
Yeah.
So.
There was sometimes in the animated series where I was like, God, she's kind of annoying. But
yeah.
when I was, 8 watching that show originally, or not 8, I was older than that. But when I was a kid watching the show, I was like, oh, I'm just as annoying as she is. I don't even register her as annoying. Yeah. But I think that, so Peyton is who I picked. And I think Jubilee is due for like a good turn. I feel like we've never had a good live action Jubilee. She was like a background character in X-Men 2 when they're in the cells and Nightcrawler saving them, and it's like I think Storm when she comes in says like Jubilee and you see her
Jubilee,
but it's just like she's hardly in it compared to the fact that she's basically one of the leads of the show.
She's the character for the X-Men series that kicks it off, is like they're rescuing her.
Yeah, kind of the original trilogy of movies. Rogue was in that role, kind of that lead young character that was kind of our eyes into this new world, but
coming to terms with her powers that she's just discovering and everything like that.
Facing like rejection from parents and stuff.
Yeah, whereas Rogue in the animated series is a full-fledged member and a badass.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I really hope, even with the new X-Men MCU side, that Jubilee is more not even, she doesn't have to be front and center, but I think she should be a legitimate enough character.
She should have a couple lines.
Yeah, give me some lines, give me some storylines, like maybe even have her be one of the 3 people that are in a larger role, kind of lead-ish. I don't want to say lead, because is there really a lead to an X-Men movie? I mean, there's so many of them that it's like you probably have to pick a few where it's like Wolverine, Jean, and Rogue are the 3 leads in this movie. Like,
or it's Storm, Wolverine, and Beast.
Yeah, there's just all these there's these variants.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be cool to have Jubilee in one of those
where
spots.
she would fit in is the X-Men go to do a mission, and she's in the command center with Professor X and whoever stayed behind.
Yeah.
Because not every X-Men goes on every mission.
Yeah.
Beast stays behind, or Morph stays behind, because their powers aren't called for on this mission. She's the one there, and maybe she's running comms or something like that. She's learning.
Yeah.
Where do you learn to handle pressure situations? Then in the control room where the X-Men are on a mission.
Yeah. That's
That's where you put her. She's an apprentice kind of thing.
Yeah. Indeed.
That's what you do.
Indeed. And I do know I'm maybe getting a little bit too windbaggery here. We're going to...
oh, shit. I didn't realize how much time we got left. So we got to come up to the most important character, the best X-Men of all.
So one weak mutant to another one, huh?
Hey, you shut your mouth. This man is powerful. This is Gambit. Oh, shit. We both pick Austin. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Great casting, Todd. Great casting.
I saw Gambit, and I'm like, first of all, I grunted or groaned because it was Gambit. But then I was like, you know what? That fucking suave, like,
oh, motherfucker.
And we know that he can pull off accents.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, it's Austin, man.
It's Austin.
It's Austin Butler, which we haven't said his full name yet.
Yeah,
but.
Austin Butler. That's where, from Masters of the Air.
Yeah. Elvis.
He did another thing, too.
Dune.
Dune, yes.
Dune
he was
2.
the bad guy in Dune.
Yeah.
He's
wonderful in all of them.
Amazing.
Like,
I mean, okay, just listen to those 3 characters. He played a World War II bomber pilot, a fucking psychopathic lick the blade kind of guy fighting in Dune 2, and he played fucking Elvis. Fuck, it's Elvis. Like, he's amazing. He's phenomenal.
And I think he can really pull off the suave
Cajun.
Yeah. Cajun. And from my perspective, Austin Butler and Lily James, I feel like that would be some good chemistry there. So
I think him and Ella Purnell, because she has chemistry in the Fallout series with a couple characters, which I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's awesome, though. I do think that might be one of the only ones we align on.
It makes sense.
I think that's the only one we align on.
Is it really? I'm shocked. I thought one of my other ones was a definite shoe-in for you.
We'll get there, sir.
But Gambit's my favorite X-Men growing up. I thought he was a smooth, suave motherfucker. He's like flirting with Rogue all the time, and Rogue was beautiful. I mean, I had a crush on Rogue as a kid.
Yeah.
So like, Gambit was my favorite, so I had to pick someone good in Austin. I couldn't think of anyone better.
Yeah, he's a great pick for it for sure.
All right, the big one. Heavy hitter.
Which I was surprised to see him in the midway point, which again I'm not complaining.
Nope.
Got to space these lists out.
Yep.
But probably the most iconic X-Men of all time, right?
Here's the thing, right?
Maybe the most iconic Marvel character of all time.
Here's the reason why I put Wolverine here. The next 3 are the OG 3 X-Men. Scott, Jean, and Storm.
Yeah.
Like, those are the 3 original OG X-Men. And I'm thinking, like, even like the X-Men movies, it was those 3, and then they found Wolverine and Rogue.
Yeah.
Even in the animated series, Wolverine's kind of an outsider, still working his way into being a team player and everything.
Yeah.
So I kind of put him here and everything because he is a little bit of an outsider. So go ahead and throw him out.
So, go ahead. Or do you want me to start?
I mean, Henry Cavill. It's been rumored. It's been talked about.
Yeah.
Just do it. Give the fans what they want. Shut them the fuck up. Henry's amazing.
Yeah.
He plays a gruff. I know you haven't watched it. He plays a gruff, ornery, swearing, cussing in Witcher.
Okay.
Which is basically Wolverine. He's a little bit taller than the classic Wolverine would be.
He's the same height as Hugh Jackman is.
Is he really?
I've looked it up to see
Oh.
because I was like, that's always
He always seems so much taller.
There's always a discussion with Wolverine because he should be like 5'5".
Yeah.
Like, he should be a very short person. But I've always told people there's never one time in history have I looked at Hugh Jackman in that role and went, God, he's too tall. He's like a foot taller than he should be. Never once.
Nope.
So when there was a lot of talk about Henry Cavill, there's still rumors that he might
Yeah.
be the MCU Wolverine. I looked it up to see, and I was like, lo and behold, 6'4".
Just do it. Just do it. Throw Henry in there. Let him play the gruff. Hey, bub.
Yeah.
I got these for you. You know, like, and we've all put candy canes between our fingers or pens and been Wolverine, right, Ted?
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, we all have because he's a badass. And
But
I
I will say, as an adult in the animated series, he puts his claws away for the sole purpose of throwing them out way too much. It gets fucking
That noise
It gets
is-
old, dude. As a kid, it was fine, but as an adult, it's like, you're in a fight. Why the fuck did you just retract your claws? Oh, because you have a line you need to say, and you need to fucking retract or throw your claws out for that line. It's like the cocking shot or
That was
pump shotgun.
that was a good hit. You're not going to get another.
It's like, oh my god, it was starting to get to me a bit.
All right, tell me about Jeremy Allen White is your pick.
So he is the lead in The Bear, which I just started watching.
Okay.
He is a fan favorite currently for Eddie Dean in the Dark Tower series.
All right.
But the reason I picked him is because of his role in the Iron Claw. The
wrestling
the
movie,
Von Erich
yeah.
movie, and that's the screen grab I grabbed because I feel like he just felt more. He put on muscle for the role, and he's playing a professional wrestler. It just feels like he's a little bit more like gritty. I don't know, bestial.
Yeah.
Like, there's just something about it that felt like, I don't know why. I don't even remember how he came up in my head, but I was just like,
Okay.
I was like, that would be great. Like,
I wonder how I'm going to feel when I watch that movie tomorrow.
yeah, just keep in mind he's
Yeah.
I mean, it was great, and I also want to hear what you thought of it too.
I
It
will.
was a great movie. But yeah, and then he's probably the biggest hit he's had is The Bear. He's the main actor in
Which
that.
I hear is a phenomenal show.
Yeah, I've heard the same. I've watched one episode, and I'm pretty into it. Which I guess I should have mentioned on the watching, reading, playing. But
You probably should have.
I have watched an episode of that. I just think he do a great job. And I don't know. There's just an element like kind of that. What I saw from him in the Iron Claw, and I also don't think he's as big of a guy. Not that that's the biggest thing, but I also thought, like, what would he look like against the Mountain? And I think that would be pretty great. So, he pretty much won me over with the Iron Claw, though. Even if I hadn't watched a single second of The Bear,
Yeah.
he probably would have been my pick here because what he did in that movie was like,
Okay.
it just felt Wolverine-y.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know if that's even a real like thing, but it felt right.
It is. It's a real
So,
thing. Wolverine. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wolverine.
absolutely.
It should be next Hugh Jackman's picture next to it in the dictionary.
Yeah,
Wolverine-y.
exactly. Let's go on to the heavy hitter of the X-Men, the goddess Storm.
Yep.
What's her first name? Aro?
Something like that.
Aro? Yeah.
Yeah.
Zendaya.
Wife of Black Panther
Black-
in the comics.
T'Challa.
Yep. In the comics.
In the comics. Zendaya.
Okay.
She has a presence. She's the right age. She's so good in Dune.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's great in Dune.
Yeah, she was.
And Dune 2
I
is
mean,
really
everything, really.
Oh,
I
has
mean,
she made anything bad?
I don't think so. Not that I've seen.
She's so good. They're making a movie that's flipping the gender stereotypes on its head, where she has two guys chasing her instead of two girls chasing a guy.
Yeah.
She's phenomenal.
And she's so good, she almost had me go watch a chick flick. With that
Exactly.
movie. Then I was like, no.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
But she was the closest one ever to get you going.
Yes.
So.
Yes. For me, I did Kiki Palmer.
Okay.
So she is, I believe, she basically stole my heart in Nope. Which
I still haven't watched.
even if you haven't watched it though, you've seen the trailer where she
Yeah.
does like the whole speech about their grandfather being
Yeah.
like the great whatever grandfather. So we've had this so pretty much since the beginning of the film, we've had skin in the game. Like she just has there's a fucking charisma to her that just drips off the fucking screen. And I know that's not Storm, but I know that she's a good enough actor that I think she could easily jump in and play the more reserved Storm, but still have that charisma that even if she's not playing charismatic, there's a magnetism to charisma that just pulls you in, and I think Kiki has it in fucking spades. And then Mike says Nope is amazing. You do need to watch Nope.
I do.
I
There's a lot of movies. We need to start writing these down because I forget them.
yeah.
I leave. I go home.
Yeah, no, I
get
get
some
it.
dinner, and I forget what we talked about.
I get it. I mean, if you just randomly text me one day and say, "Hey, what's something I need to watch?" I would probably draw a blank. Like I'd be like, I don't know.
Go watch
Creep Show.
Go watch Star Wars.
Creep Show.
No, I'm not watching Fluffy. Okay,
The Howling.
you stop it. So we're on to the second.
Ultimately with Storm, though, I think Storm's is awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to see just a lot built with her because I think she's just incredible. I don't want to say she was underutilized she was hardly in the Days of Futures Past timeline.
Yeah.
But I think she was underutilized. I think if it wasn't for Halle Berry kind of using some weight a little bit, I don't think we ever would have seen her, even though she's kind of the second in command, right?
Yeah.
When Scott's gone, she's in charge.
Yeah.
Like
Over Jean.
Yeah, she's it. Like
She's also one of the most powerful mutants in the game.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I mean, next to she's up in the realm of Magneto. I think she's like.
That's why I called her a goddess. Like
Yeah,
literally, she is perceived as a god by some people. So,
and
let's do it.
I could see it. So I think both these would be great. I would love to see Storm play a bigger role, which she does in the animated series. So that's pretty awesome. All right, next up,
Jean Grey.
Which let me just pause for a second. And let's see. Is it ever been? Have you ever thought about the fact that Jean Grey is the only fucking person in the X-Men that has never really been called by her code name? So much so, I would even wonder, do you know her code name?
The Phoenix?
Like Scott Summers to Cyclops?
Cyclops?
No. Her code name in the fucking comic books was Marvel Girl. That has always been her.
No.
That is her Logan to Wolverine. That is her fucking code name.
Really?
Nobody's ever fucking called her that. I was thinking of that like weeks ago, and I was just like, I was just thinking to myself, I need to bring this up on the show one day. And then when I saw we were doing this, I'm like, this will be the perfect time to throw it.
There you go.
Why have we never called her? As I said, most people don't even know.
I don't even know it.
That's her code. That's her X-Men name is because nobody uses their real name.
Yeah.
I mean, even Professor X, that's his code name.
Professor X. He's not Charles Xavier. Yeah.
But she's the only one that not only does she not use it, most people don't even know what the fuck it is.
No.
It's wild. I don't know.
Marvel Girl?
Yeah.
What's her costume?
What? I mean, it's still the same costume.
Is it?
I mean, it's changed over the years, but it's not like Captain Marvel or anything. But yeah.
Nope, it's not.
She's changed a little bit.
Green.
Well, there's been different costumes for her over the years. I mean, all of them.
Okay, I Google Marvel Girl, and the first thing that comes up is a blue and yellow one, and then two green ones with a yellow mask that's like a V.
Oh, yeah. I think that's one of the newer versions of her. So
that one's old, but yeah, that makes sense because she wears that outfit in X-Men '97.
Yeah, she's changed a lot of. I mean, the original costume for all of them was like yellow.
Yeah,
with like blue or black underneath it.
What do you want me to wear? Yellow spandex?
Really, really old. Like their first couple years of X-Men. Yeah, she's definitely had a lot of looks over the years. But yeah, I don't know. Either way, Jean Grey. Let's we can go ahead and dive in.
I mean, Florence Pugh. She's mine. Like the one that you said. What was the one you said for
Lily
Rogue?
James?
Where it's just the world's better. Everything's better with Florence Pugh.
Yeah, I can't disagree.
I mean, I would love to see her play the little bit more serious. She's always had kind of like the comic relief, like Black Widow.
Well, not Hereditary.
Not Hereditary, obviously.
Or I'm sorry,
Midsummer. Not Midsummer.
I was like saw Midsummer in my head. I was looking at the poster in my head. And then I say fucking Hereditary.
Yeah.
God damn it.
But in Black Widow, she was the comic relief and the fun sidekick sister and everything, and she's still phenomenal. In Hawkeye and everything, with Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
She does an accent just fine, and everything. I think she could pull off, if we get to the Phoenix stuff, I think she could pull off that off amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's Florence. I mean, what can't she do?
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
All right, tell me about Ellie Bamber?
Bamber, yeah.
Bamber?
So with her, sadly, one of her probably bigger breakout things no longer exists because Disney deleted it seems like, is the new Willow.
Oh.
They deleted off of Disney Plus because they're fucking morons. But yeah, she kind of started to hit it on people's radar because of that. And just kind of knowing that she kind of has a buzz around her as like an up-and-coming star, as well as she has red hair.
I already got it.
But I did actually have one other alternate. This is one of my ones I had alternates for younger. My first pick when I was thinking to go way younger on them was Sadie Sink, which was she was the redhead in Stranger Things.
Okay.
Yeah, we all know, right?
Yeah.
I thought she was awesome in that.
Yeah.
And so I thought of her, but then I was like, then I started thinking, I had the whole debate about how old are they actually in this? And so I decided to move it over to Ellie, which is a little bit older. So
Yeah.
but yeah, she I haven't seen Willow. I didn't get a chance to watch it before Disney fucking deleted it. But I've heard a lot of good. Like I've heard that over the next 3 or 4 years, we're probably going to see her kind of
Boom.
bust out on the scene.
What
So,
better way than to bust out as
yeah.
a phoenix?
Yeah, so she's
So like a rebirth is what you're saying?
Yes.
Like a flame on?
Yes.
Kinda? Oh wait, no, that's Fantastic Four. My bad.
Yes, indeed. And like I said, ultimately, she had a lot. She was the lead in Willow as well. So,
Looking her up, she says that she was in Les Mis.
yeah, she was in that too as well.
So-
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, Willow's the one that people were like, oh shit, like
She's
she
got
she
some
might be
talent.
she might be a leading lady
Yeah.
here pretty soon. So, yes, indeed.
All right. Now this one I put at the top. I know a lot of people hate on Scott Summers' Cyclops. I think he deserves a redemption, and so I picked someone that I need a strong performance from. I need
Yeah.
someone that can give me more than just a yes sir, no Wolverine, that's bad. No, give me a character, give me a good strong leader and everything. Maybe bitch slap Wolverine, put him in his place. And I can't think of a better actor right now than Zac Efron.
Yeah, which you'll be seeing in the Iron Claw if you want.
He is so fucking talented. Just
Oh, yeah.
another one of those ones that came out of the kids stuff, like DiCaprio, that we're just like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
Like, is he really going to try this? And he's knocked my socks off almost every single step of the way.
Yeah.
Him as Ted Bundy, even in Firestarter, he was phenomenal, even though that
Firestarter.
movie had a horrible fucking ending.
The Greatest Showman, he was
The
great.
Greatest Showman, he's got it. He's got also, let's just be perfectly honest, goddamn, he has a chin. And that's one of the things that Scott Summers needs to have is that strong fucking jaw that is just so punchable that Wolverine just has to hit it 3 times an episode,
Yeah.
which is why I picked Zac Efron.
And for me,
Yeah.
I upgraded X-Men 3 because they killed Cyclops.
Yeah.
I fucking hate this character. I always have.
I know.
I just do not like that just fucking straight laced. I
Yep.
don't look at my shirt, but I
It
just
says the man wearing a Superman
it
shirt.
just like and even rewatching it now, I was like, just over this last number of months, I was like, every time he's on the screen and being fucking all high and mighty and shit, I'm like, fuck this guy, dude.
You're like, can I just punch him in his jaw?
I do not like this guy. And I just and so like every episode I hit like an arc here or there in the show and he's not in it and I'm always happy. I'm not a Cyclops fan. He's probably my least favorite X-Men. But I picked Alden Ehrenreich, which of course famous for Han Solo.
Yep.
He was also in Oppenheimer. He was the caddy aide to Robert Downey Jr.
Okay.
That eventually kind of pulls some punches on him a little bit there toward the end.
Yeah.
He's done a couple other things too. But
Cocaine Bear.
yeah, but he's just
He was in Hail Caesar.
he just has a charisma. Yeah, Hail Caesar. It was
Yeah.
wonderful in that. He just has a charisma to him that I think that because again I don't like Scott Summers. I think he's a fucking boring ass character. And so I'm like I've got to get something that can bring something to this fucking character. And
Yeah.
I'm just like Alden has done so good and everything. He just has this this charm. And I know he can't play the charm up too much because that's not really Cyclops. But I think he could bring something to it where it can make him less punchable for me.
Which is fine, which is what I'm looking for. I want the evolution of the character to go from the Boy Scout to, all right, he's a character. He's someone else. Mike in the chat says, great picks for Cyclops. I'm going with Sean William Scott. Fuck, it's Stifler.
Yeah. A lot of people said that at first Cyclops in the
live action.
Everyone
movies.
always said that he looked like Stifler. So it's not far off from what we've already seen. And I actually love that actor too. Nothing against the actors. It's usually
Marston's.
he was Stu in the fucking god awful Stand adaptation in 2020. I always blank. I never could remember his name.
He was also in Superman Returns.
And
wasn't he?
Sonic. Yeah. Yeah.
James Marston?
Yeah, James Marston. That's right. He was also in the Sonic movie.
Marsden.
Yeah. So yeah, I picked Alden. I think Alden did a great job in everything I've seen him in so far, and I do just think he could pull off a good Scott Summers.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this real fast. I know we're getting close to time, and we got the 2 biggest characters in X-Men to come up. How do you feel about Zac Efron pulling off what you're talking about for a character that you despise?
Oh yeah, I think he'd bring something, because I think for me it's just the two-dimensional nature of him.
Yeah.
There's just not. It just doesn't feel like there's much interest. I think that's why I hate him. It's not like, oh, I just whatever. It's not even the Boy Scout. It's more of just like he's just so uninteresting to me. He's just fucking two-dimensional. And that's something that Superman's not, right?
Yeah.
Like Superman has a lot of depth and dimension and stuff, and the only people that say that Superman's two-dimensional are people that don't know Superman. And I think so. You ultimately need good writers, but also a good actor that can
Right.
bring in and just flesh this character out. And I think Marston did a good job of that. In
Give
the
him a
original.
little something extra. He had a little bit of a swagger in the X-Men movies with Marston.
And I think he did a good. I think
Yeah.
he did great for it. I honestly think like just cheering in the theater when they fucking killed him in 3 was more of the animated series.
Yes.
Of the hatred of years of just like, I hate this
Which
guy.
is why we need some redemption for Cyclops, which I think these two are both
Yes.
great picks to give him that redemption.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
And for some weird reason, you put the star of the show and the hero of the story at number 2.
Nope,
but,
nope. We got the main villain, the bad guy,
I don't know about
the
that.
one who wants to commit genocide
Magneto.
on a great scale.
Magneto was
Magneto,
right.
nope. Dude, Michael Shannon. Oh, that is such a good pick, Tad.
I thought the same of yours.
Oh,
Because and honestly, this is probably the one you suspected we had the same.
this is the one.
Okay.
No, actually, it's not. It's Xavier.
Oh, really? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I fucking love Ben Mendelsohn. I
You
really
do.
do.
You do.
And I honestly, I'm sorry. Also, Igby Rigney, which is one of the younger dudes. He was the assistant in Fall of the House of Usher. It's the one that Mike Flanagan's been saying he thinks he's a big star. I've been saying that he's probably going to end up being our Eddie Dean. I had him as my Cyclops when I had
Oh, okay.
Cyclops and Jean being younger.
Yeah.
It was Igby Rigney and Sadie Sink as the two.
Okay.
So those are the alternates. But yeah, with Magneto, I ended up coming down to a couple different actors. This is my all-time favorite comic book character. So I probably could
This
do a
is
full,
even over Superman.
Yes, this is my all-time. Yeah, this isn't my favorite X-Men, my favorite Marvel character. No, this is my favorite
Comic
comic
book
book character.
character.
And he'd probably be a top 10 character in all of anything. Like he's easy top 10.
Wow.
So
Video games.
movies, books, like he's
Everything.
I love him. He's wonderful. I came down to a couple. I don't remember some of the ones I deleted, but the one that I kept that I really came down to the two that I was really struggling over. Michael Shannon is just, I love him.
Oh,
I
God,
feel like everything
he's so good in Waco.
everything he does is so good, and I think he has a intensity even when he's not trying to, and I think that's why I ultimately picked him for
His
this.
voice too. It's
And
just that voice is
like,
just
when he gets that hard jawline and just fucking gives you the fucking dead eye stare.
Yeah.
Can you not see that being Magneto?
under
Just-
the hood, under the picture you have here with
Yeah.
the metal hood.
Yeah.
And that stare coming out from underneath it.
Yeah. But I brought it down to the final two. He ended up winning it out. The other one might be a little bit more of an outside pick because I actually didn't think of Ben Mendelsohn. When I finally got mine set and looked at your list, I was a little bit pissed that I didn't think of him because I unabashedly stan Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah. Yep.
So I was a little bit bummed that I didn't think of him. But the other one I had, Bruce Greenwood, was my runner up.
Batman.
Just because, like, think of his voice.
Oh, yeah.
Think of his.
Oh, yeah.
Think of his fucking intensity. Like, he could be a fucking Magneto. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what's funny is after I did my list, I looked at your list. I went and started looking around online to see what people think. You know, he actually probably has the most predominant fan casting on the internet right now of Marvel character, kind of like Patrick Stewart would have been back
Yeah.
in the day, in the earliest days of the internet, where
Who
it's got to be Patrick Stewart.
Who are they casting him as?
Who are they casting for Magneto?
No, Bruce Greenwood.
No. I'm sorry.
Oh.
For Magneto.
Oh, he's having there's a big talk about who?
No. I haven't told you the actor yet. But Magneto has one of the biggest fan castings on the internet where people are just like,
Yeah.
it's always the same guy. I almost said Oscar Isaac. Jason Isaac, the bad guy from Patriot.
Oh, fucking yeah.
Everyone, dude, you cannot fucking swing a goddamn cat by the tail on the internet without running into somebody dreamcasting him as Magneto. And I don't necessarily hate that idea, but like when I saw that it was so popular,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm glad I didn't pick him because I hate being like,
He's
in that-
he's very famous for Harry Potter.
oh,
He
well.
plays an absolute dick.
Who
in
that has
Harry
seen
Potter.
Patriot has not looked at him and just you
Yeah.
want to fucking burn him alive.
Yeah.
I mean, well, but yes.
Oh, dude, too soon.
Ben Mendelsohn though, and I grabbed the Star Wars picture because he has a cape.
Dude,
for your picture.
I
there.
mean, okay, so here's the thing with Ben Mendelsohn, all right? I just finished The Outsider.
yeah. So
He plays Ralph Anderson in
Yeah.
the HBO series for The Outsider. that's why it was on my brain, because I'm going to watch The Outsider here soon.
Yeah.
I've watched it once.
And he did great in the MCU. He did
was
great
phenomenal.
in Star Wars. Was
Yeah.
one of my favorite new characters in the Star Wars universe.
Do not
so.
choke on your aspirations. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such a waste.
And he would be a great
farmer?
He'd be a great Magneto. I think both of us have really good picks here. And as a Magneto connoisseur, I could definitely
One of
speak to
the
him.
little cherries on
Oh
top.
God, thank you, Mike. Javier Bardem was my third guy.
Oh, Javier
when I was
Bardem's
down
a
to
great one.
when I was down to 3 people, I was like Javier
Yeah.
Bardem, Michael Shannon, and Bruce Greenwood.
You want to know the cherry on top for Ben?
What's that?
He's part Jewish.
Oh, yeah, that.
Like, oh,
yeah, that.
with Magneto's backstory, it's kind of like, ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
indeed.
I think Ben Mendelsohn is one of the most talented, underrated actors in all
Oh,
of Hollywood.
like I said, I stan him, dude. He's one of my
He's
absolute
so
favorite
good.
actors. Like I've yet to like roll into a movie that he's in and not just fucking adored every second he was on screen or show. Like he's incredible. So like I said, I wish I'm actually glad I didn't think of him because if I would have thought of him, that would have made my decision that much fucking harder. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
I legit was like struggling with Magneto. That was the last one I picked too. The rest of these I had solid, and on Magneto I still had a fucking list, and I was just like, oh my God, man, which one am I going to pick here? And then it ultimately came down to Michael Shannon, dude. I fucking love him. He's an all-star, so.
Shannon is a great choice. I love his voice and everything, and he'd have the, like you were saying, the presence for Magneto.
Yeah.
So, a great pick. All right, so Charles Xavier, I think is so important to the X-Men because you have to nail the guy giving them orders, but also tutoring them, encouraging them, and stuff like that.
And disappearing on them.
And
in the
disappearing
original
on-
show,
yep.
dude,
He's
how
gone
many
forever.
fucking times he's just gone for like 10 episodes because he's been sent to fucking the lost world
Yeah,
of
because
dinosaurs
you have
of
to get
Magneto.
you have to get
or-
rid of him because he's so important.
No, I know, but it's just like if I were a parent that had my student at his fucking place and realized how often he wasn't in that goddamn mansion,
Yeah.
I'd be pulling my goddamn kid out.
You're like, I'm out.
Yeah, it's like, Jesus Christ, let me go let my kid live on the street. He has better chance than living in this fucking place with this negligent motherfucker.
It explodes every week or so.
Yeah.
So I went with one that has been rumored and talked about and everything is Giancarlo
Esposito.
Esposito. Thank you. I don't know why my tongue just went bleh.
Yeah.
But
he even spoke on the rumors.
You did, and I'm for it.
Yeah.
Giancarlo is amazing. He's
Oh, yeah.
played bad guys for as long as I can remember. Everything I've seen him in is a bad guy.
Yeah.
But I think he has the gravitas to pull off that compassion.
Oh, yeah.
That no, Magneto,
Well-
Eric, we have to do this the right way.
He wasn't a villain in Mandalorian, but well.
He was a villain in Mandalorian. He worked for the Empire, which therefore equals villain. That's a terrorist group.
No, well.
Oh, how the tables have turned!
He's awesome.
You don't get to call them terrorists, and then when they become the legitimate government, the Empire becomes terrorist. You don't get to say that they're good guys. No, that's not how this works, sir. Jeffrey
man.
Wright. I just barely looked at yours. Jeffrey Wright is a great choice.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember how I came to him, but like I was thinking through different things. I think probably part of it was
That's
like Giancarlo's
Gordon, right?
Yeah.
From the Batman.
He's been in a lot of shit, but yeah, that's definitely one. Giancarlo, though, like was a thought for me, but I feel like he's kind of my pick for like the MCU,
Mm-hmm.
and not that I'm like totally trying to separate them, but there was part of me. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to do Giancarlo because that will ultimately be my Xavier for the MCU if it came down to that.
Spoiler alert.
So I'm like, let me think about what other people I might throw in there, and I don't know how or why Jeffrey came to me, but I was like,
Yeah.
he could play a really good Xavier, I think.
Yeah, he could.
So-
Absolutely. He basically kind of plays Xavier a little bit in the Batman with like the moral code with Gordon and everything like that.
Yeah.
All you got to do is shave his head and put him in a wheelchair.
Yeah, indeed. And then Mike said, Zachary Quinto is Professor X for me. And then he says, at Makeup Teen, less eyebrows, please. Which, that was, Quinto is
As Spock.
the newer Spock. Well,
Yeah.
not even the newest Spock. The second to newest Spock.
He's not the newest Spock?
No,
there's a newer one?
There's the one on the TV shows. It's Gregory Peck's grandkid.
Oh, shit. No, really?
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. When I heard it and he originally got cast, I'm like, that's fucking crazy. Like, freaking Atticus Finch. His
That's crazy.
grandson is Spock now.
Yeah, Jeffrey's amazing.
Yeah, I think both of those would be great for sure. Yeah, I don't think there's any of yours I necessarily like disliked, or I don't even think we really disagreed on anything really. We just had different takes on it, which is what I love about these. And I do this is our second Dreamcasting we've ever done, but I do enjoy them quite a bit.
There will be more.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
Plenty of fun stuff to Dreamcast. So,
Do you have a favorite? Like one that you're just like, I nailed that one. From your list? Because I have one.
Yeah, who do you got?
Oh, Ben Mendelsohn is Magneto, dude. I'm so fucking happy that I thought of him. Because I'm like, oh, dude, he would, especially like his hands and like the gloves. Like, because we were this close in Rogue One and everything. Dude, I could just see him just picking up a fucking semi-truck and throwing it at fucking Colossus or some shit.
Yeah. And also, I have to say, as a Magneto fan, I've been absolutely blessed so far with Ian McKellen and Michael Fassbender. And if it were to then change over to, and I can go back here, to either Ben Mendelsohn or Michael Shannon or Javier Bardem or Bruce Greenwood, it'd be following in the line of great Magneto actors. Like,
Just hook it to my vein!
I have been very blessed as a Magneto fan because there's not been a time where I've been like...
Is there a better casted comic book character?
That I would say you'd have to question if they've been multiple casted as well. Like Wolverine doesn't count because it's really been one
person.
guy.
Yeah.
I think Xavier, you could argue.
There's two.
There's been two, same way, and I think both were fucking incredible as well.
I think Magneto's better.
Yeah, I mean, but I am biased, and I'll admit that. So I don't know if if it's my bias.
I think
so,
Magneto's better.
Like, dude, that Michael Fassbender scene in the bar with the Nazis is one of my favorite fucking.
that
comes up on my YouTube like maybe once every other week, and every single time I watch it, because I'm like,
I will say something that I don't think I've ever told you before. What is it, James McAvoy that does? Not
Charles.
a fan.
Really?
Not a fan.
Really?
Like, don't get me wrong. It's not one of those ones where it's like I hated it and I can't stand it.
Yeah.
But, like, not what I picture a young Xavier.
You know, it's funny because as I'm watching the animated series, there's one arc where they have to like go back in time to save him because time travelers go back and kill him, and he's in college, but they animate him the same way.
Yeah,
he looks no different except he's
bald
walking. Yeah, I'm like, that's like the Saw guy when they just put a fucking baseball cap on him and like it just
no de-aging makeup.
No,
at all.
nothing. I'm like you're animating. You could do anything you want, and you literally just use the same.
You could have made him green.
Anything. So I'm like, I thought of McAvoy. I'm like, dude, at least McAvoy. At least they like, went the other direction and went like, let's make him younger. And like, of course, the famous story where he shaved his head when he got the role. Then he showed up and they're like, we didn't want you bald.
Oh, I never heard that.
You haven't heard that?
No.
Yeah. Like once his agent called and said he got the role of Charles Xavier, he went. I don't know if he did it himself or he went and had someone do it, but he went and fucking shaved his head. Showed up on set the first day, and Matthew Vaughn's like, "Did you shave your head?" Yeah. He's like, we want you with hair. That's one of my favorite.
That's bad.
It's one of my favorite X-Men stories. But for me, I can't say necessarily because again, Magneto's still so debatable for me. I would say probably one that I feel like I may have absolutely nailed would either be Kiki Palmer as Storm or Austin Butler as Gambit.
Austin Butler's a good one too.
Like I just there's something about everything he's done. Even like I feel like he's way more suave in like Masters of the Air. Like because Elvis is Elvis, but like there was like a suave, like cool, quiet nature of him. And it's like that felt Gambit-y to me. So
that's literally the role that locked it in for me because Gambit's my favorite X-Men, so it was going to be hard for me to cast him.
Yeah.
And so when I came to him, because I started with just like obvious ones. Yeah. Like Ben Mendelsohn was my first one that I put on my list.
Fuck, I didn't think of that, man. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I did
That's
not.
all good.
I should have thought of it though. I mean, you know how much I love Ben Mendelsohn.
You love Ben Mendelsohn. But I came to Gambit, and the very first thought I had is like, dude, the guy that played Elvis, he's in Masters of the Air. I'm like, oh, what's his name? And I went and looked him up, and I'm like, yep, Austin. Yeah. I did not look at a single other actor for him. I'm just like, yep, that's it. Let him play that Raging Cajun.
Funny enough, same here.
Really?
I didn't have another thought. Like immediately I looked at Gambit on the screen. I mean, first I went, ugh, Gambit. And then second I was like, Austin Butler.
Shut up. Fucker. Give the outro so I can get out of here. Get away from this hatred of Gambit for no reason.
I will admit, though, I know full well that I'm in the vast minority He is a beloved fucking character.
Gambit's
for sure.
one of the fucking best X-Men. Gambit's one of the best fucking mutants. You shut your mouth.
Oh, if he's one of the best mutants, then the cure's a good thing.
Oh.
All right, so on the outro stuff, I love getting those daggers into your ribs, man. Just stab right into your fucking lungs. First of all, if you want to email us, you got your arms crossed. We got Petulant Peter entering the show. If you want to contact the show, you can email either of us directly, either Peter or Tad at geekeryabides.com. Again, Peter at geekeryabides.com or Tad, T-A-D-D, at geekeryabides.com. Email either of us directly. Let us know if you disagree with us, agree with us, show ideas, whatever you want.
Just like Mike did here in the chat. Thanks for being here, Mike.
Yeah. If you're not here live, you could always, even if you want to send your X-Men cash, you could do that as well, whatever you want to do. We probably can't go through it at the same length we did for ours, but we can always read yours off as a quick thing if you wanted to. If you want to be part of it, that is your ways to email. And then next time on the
Whoops.
That's the wrong pedal. Next time on the next episode, I was debating a lot of different things, but I ended up rolling with Indy.
No time for that, Dr. Jones.
So let's do some Indiana Jones.
All right.
It's probably a 10,000-foot view. Got 5 movies to look at. 3 of them, you and I.
Shit, there are 5 of them.
You and I grew up pretty.
Oh, yeah.
I would assume most of your life was watching Indiana
yeah.
Jones movies.
It was Indiana Jones and Star Wars for me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's it for a lot of us 90s kids. So, yeah, that'll be the next episode, which is 2 weeks from now, a fortnight from now, which will be July 1st, which is nuts to think about.
June 1st.
Or June 1st. Yeah,
You said July. Don't try and skip a month, you bastard. I know you're excited about Deadpool, but don't skip a month.
That would get us closer to Deadpool, though.
That's true.
So, yeah, that will be it for this episode. We'll sign off as we always do. As I always do, I will sign off by saying, love what you love, let your geek flag fly high, and to hell with anyone that wants to tell you anything about fucking guilty pleasures.
Magneto was wrong.
Oh, now we're going to fucking fight. Let's end this show so I can go kick your ass for saying such lies and deception. All right, we'll see you guys next time.